was trying to come up with a brand new cold open, but for some reason, everything I've come up with has already been reused. Kind of like a record Falcon booster, or a Chinese booster, or even the space shuttle. Hint, hint. One thing I will definitely reuse is this. Roll the intro.
And here we go.
There's the W. Here's ignition.
Doubling up.
Did it just do a Kerbal?
Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, Gino.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, that sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
We did have an observation.
Equalize.
343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly!
Bingo! Right in the center. Where's Jacqueline? There it is!
That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No.
Oh my god.
Yikes. You bet. Sure. We don't need any more of these.
Welcome everybody to the Flame Trench. This is our Friday kind of loose style news show where we go over things that happened this week that we find interesting and dive deep into them. And of course, we've got a lot of Starship news as well, so we will get to that. As always though, I like to say at the beginning, please, when you have questions, you can tag us at NASASpaceflight or at NSF, but try and keep it to the topic that we're talking about at that time. I know everyone's going to have Starship questions. I know you're going to have questions about the video that came out. I know you're going to have questions about the static fire today. We will get to it. I promise you that. Because I say we. I should say who we is. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I will be your host for today. Joining me is a cool cast of characters, including EJ. How's it going, EJ?
Hey, how are you? How's everybody? Good? Everybody good?
That's it?
Yeah, no? Yeah. What do you want? What do you want me to say? Hi, great. We have a smashing amount of news for you today, Chad. Back to you, Sora.
Thank you. If we're going to do it, we got to go Nigel Thornberg. Smashing.
Surprise!
Yeah. Oh, that clip with him is great. Anyway, also joining now, shaking his head at the shenanigans, is Max Evans. How's it going, Max?
Oh, it's going and flowing, Sawyer. Things are rapidly picking up as we have potentially a very action-packed week coming up for us and for everybody else in the spaceflight world, especially when it comes to South Texas flight operations. But yes, it is good to be here.
What could be happening in South Texas coming up? Good to have you with us. And of course, speaking of Starship stuff, we got to have a Starship person on, and today that is Ryan Weber. How's it going, Webby?
It's going great. Yeah, had a really fun earlier today with Booster 20, but we'll get to that. And yeah, how's it going, everyone?
It seems like chat's going good. At least they're going 5x5, that's for sure. Chat, are you good? Are you sure you're good? Okay, cool. Anyway, pushing the levers, pulling buttons today is Kevin Michael Reed. And so we will get right into things here. As mentioned with the intro there is a lot of reuse to talk about. And one of those involves, we'll start with some of the more old reliable ones before we get to the crazy newcomers into this reusability game. Let's start with Falcon 9. And Max, we had a record-setting booster fly this week.
I like how you put that, all reliable, because that is ultimately what Falcon 9 has become since Block 5 really has taken flight, obviously, in the 8 years now that it's been in service. That's crazy to say already. But yes, Falcon 9 first stage fleet leader B-1067 took off on its 36th flight yesterday morning for the Starlink 10-42 mission. I know, we are talking about a Starlink mission on the Flame Trench, even though the actual mission itself isn't the topic of conversation. But across all launch sites in for Falcon 9, either on the east coast of Florida or on the west coast of California, 1067 is currently the fleet leader. And the SpaceX wants to make it known because they have a literal crown painted. I can see EJ in the back channel going, sorry, I'm not gonna repeat that. They have an actual I was trying to not go there, dude. I was trying so hard.
Reminder:
yes.
if you type that in chat, you will get timed out. So don't.
Yes, don't
type
do that. Please don't do that. I'm actually crying now a little bit. They have an actual crown painted over the actual booster serial number on top of the booster, which I think is really cool. But what's also really even like better is that 1067 is one of 4 active Falcon 9 first stage boosters above the 30 flight milestone, and the others being B1063 over at Vandenberg holding at 33 flights, 1067, which we are talking about now, 1069, nice, currently holding at 31 flights, also based at the Cape, and then B1071, which is also based at Vandenberg, holding at 34 flights, so not that far off from B1067. But we were also treated to a rather unique spectacle in the fact that it produced a marvelous jellyfish because it launched right before sunrise, and also it passed right by the freaking moon there that I always miss. I always forget about that shot. Yeah, it was quite nice to have such a refreshing visual spectacle from an otherwise mostly mundane Starlink mission. You know, we've become so used to Starlink flights and really Falcon 9 missions in general to this point, maybe with the exception of crew flights, that it's become like watching aircraft or like plane spotting out of like Orlando. You know, that's just the state that Falcon 9 has or is in at this point, considering how much it flies, how I can't say the word without stuttering. Reliable. It's become so reliable to this point, despite I think it's 3 issues that it's had over the past couple of years, but that could ultimately be boiled down to Falcon 9 being a victim of its own success in flying so often that one in however many X issues are found. But Falcon 9 has been a remarkable workhorse for U.S. ground-to-space transport over the past at least 5 years and a bit longer since it entered service back in 2018. But I want to talk about something else with you guys as well, because we've become so accustomed to Falcon 9 flying as often as it has, and as gorgeous as this was. This is from yesterday morning. So on the top of your screen, or that nice cut there. So the big bright bulb there in the middle is Falcon 9 Stage 2, and then also in that previous telescope shot from D, you could also see the individual fairings flying away, and the first stage coming down as its own little speck in the sky, producing its own little RCS puffs, or puffs from its reaction control system thrusters. It's just one of those unique treats you get when you launch before sunrise or just after sunset. But as far as we are aware, SpaceX, the next milestone, or SpaceX is pushing Falcon 9 boosters to up to 40 flights certifiably in their useful life. I think that went up from 10 to 15, then 20, and then kind of went up in 5 flight increments as far as we are aware, now currently holding at 40. I believe it was either Elon or Kiko that said that on X about a year and a half ago, I think it was. I want to say it was Elon. But beyond 40 flights, we're not exactly sure what the future looks like for Falcon 9, because SpaceX right now is basically all in on Starship and making sure that it comes online operationally as soon as possible, especially for Starlinks, because who knows how many more Starlink V2 mini satellite launches we're going to see either out of the Cape or out of Vandenberg, right? And Starship obviously is going to be launching the Starlink version 3 satellites, which are much bigger and can only launch on Starship. So there are around 22 or 23 active Falcon 9 first stage boosters currently in rotation between California and Florida. Question is, how many more are they going to build, and how long does Falcon 9 really have left in its lifespan? We've talked about this topic on stream before. We've all kind of speculated, but I want to give it some proper attention now, because we don't get to talk about Falcon 9 a whole lot because it's so reliable and so mundane that just kind of flies under the radar. Falcon just does its thing. It's not news, you know. But
literally flies under the radar.
But with SpaceX's goal of getting Starship online as soon as possible, I want to pose a couple of questions to y'all and spark some conversation there. How relevant will Falcon 9 be in as little as 3 to 4 years' time? And let alone it's obviously well proven super high reuse capability, but also how many more Falcon 9s do we expect built between Vandenberg and here? Like, how many more do they need to support what's left for it?
I'd say if they could get 40.
Okay.
Yeah, I got this. I'd say
Okay.
if they could get 40 out of these things with the fleet that they have, we're not going to see much more Falcon 9 production. But yeah, 40 flights, I'd say, is pretty much the upper echelon, I think, of what they'd be looking for. Now, could it fly more than 40 flights? Yeah, but I think by the time like the entire active fleet of Falcon 9s all get up to that, right, your Starship would be flying. So I think if they can get 40 out of these things, that'll be pretty good. Ryan, what do you think?
Well, they're still going to have to keep making center cores for the Falcon Heavy missions that they have, which they do have Falcon Heavy missions, whether it's for NASA or NSSL, so that still has to be a thing. I think in terms of your fleet leaders, if you decide to retire out of the 4 that Max listed, if you decide to retire 2 out of the 4, 1 from each Vandenberg and the Cape, once they hit 40, go ahead. But like, do you just say, well, let's just see how many flights we can actually get out of a Falcon 9? You just keep going until it blows up on ascent? Do you do that? Do you like, yeah, we're at 55, and then on the 56 one, you lose it on a Starlink flight on ascent? Now, granted, that's a mishap investigation. It grounds a Falcon 9 if it does that. But do you do that just to see how far you can get? Or for that matter, do you go to the FAA and go, well, hey, we're flying this very, very highly reused booster. Nobody has ever flown a rocket this much. Can we get an exception if this blows up on ascent? Can we get an exception? I want to see how many it can get.
I mean, there's a reason why for these super highly flown boosters, they are only flying Starlink missions, so that if something does happen to it on ascent, the payload that's lost isn't that of a customer from either the government or someone commercially. So that's one thing they have going for them. But yeah, like Falcon 9 is the first rocket to really do this, like in terms of it being reused rapidly and of the cadence that it is. I mean, this booster 1067 first flew back in early summer of 2021. CRS-22 was its very first mission that it flew, so it's about 5 years old now. And by the grand scheme of things, 5 years is not that old, but in SpaceX time, that is like ancient, and it's still being used very, very well. But SpaceX has a habit of when they want to retire a booster and older boosters that they've had to this point, they've just expended them on a heavier payload and just not recovered the booster. It'd be a real shame to see all 4 of these, if not more, just sent off into the ocean and never seen again. I would like to see one or 2 of them in the museum, maybe perhaps in the Rocket Garden, right, Sawyer? I want to talk about something else that it kind of comes up, because obviously this booster's
my opinion first on all this.
Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Thanks.
Sorry.
All good. No, I don't see a reason why you would want to fly it all the way till it blows up. As you pointed out, then you get a mishap investigation, and sure, it may only be a week and a half or 2 weeks, but at the pace they're going, that is a long time. Again, like you said, in SpaceX time, that's a long time. So I don't see the point in doing that. I mean, maybe you try and push to 50, but I wouldn't go beyond that at that point. And again, they're going to get to that milestone where they will stop after usually 10 flights and then basically tear it apart, see how it's doing, and reassemble and fly again. So we'll see what they find when they get to 40 on that. But I don't see any reason to do that. I mean, it would be a shame to see them thrown away. There were certain boosters that they probably should have kept. Maybe ones that had a NASA logo on stage 1.
No. We don't have to talk about that. No. Don't reopen that wound. I'm healed, man. Don't rip that open again, please.
Oh, yeah, R.I.P. But yes, I see someone in the chat. Yes, the reason is it would be cool, but cool is not productive.
The only other way to do it is you keep flying and flying and flying until you get it back and you go, okay, there's a lot of issues we're looking at here, maybe cracks in the weld seams or things like that. And you go, all right, it's time to retire it. And whatever flight number that is, that's it. You retire it. Maybe you do it to that point. to where you find something, you go, well, it's not worth it to fix it. Let's just patch this thing up and let's deploy its landing legs and put it in the rocket garden at KSC at, I don't know, 45, 50 flights. And then you got booster 1067 with a crown on its number sitting inside the rocket garden. Maybe that's the way you do it. But I honestly would still love to see how many flights they can get out of one of these because, heck, I mean, it's not the same material, but it still infers data on Starship. I mean, you're gonna have to get 100 plus flights out of those super heavy boosters. How many times are flying that thing or more? So the more you fly Falcon 9, the more you realize, the more you understand what an orbital class booster goes through, and whatnot. So I say, why not?
Can I throw
fly
one
them
more
for a little
caveat
longer?
into that now
Yes.
of why they probably wouldn't?
Only one.
Only one.
They're publicly traded. Even if it's a planned kaboom or they expect it to potentially go kaboom, if investors see it go kaboom, I don't think they would want that public imagery, even if, for the rest of us space geeks, no, that's not a big deal.
I guess. I mean, they're beyond the point really where they need to be testing Falcon 9 anymore, right? Because obviously the future, quite clearly for them, is Starship, and the reason why they've been able to get just that much more performance out of Falcon 9 over the past 2 to 3 years is by flying all of these Starlink missions, which are the heaviest that Falcon 9 can carry while being reusable, and to get more, they've been able to extract more performance out of the Merlin 1Ds, for example. So despite Block 5 being a locked-in design as a NASA requirement to certify it to fly crew, they have been making minor adjustments to them over the years to get more performance out of them, i.e. with the Merlin 1Ds especially. And that is why after crew 6 or 7, they've been able to stop sending the booster off for a drone ship recovery, and they've been bringing the boosters back to either LZ1 or 2 and now LZ40 for an on-site booster recovery for crewed missions, because those used to require the booster heading off on a drone ship down range in the ocean, right? So, but they don't need Falcon 9 to be pushed as hard, I guess, as they used to. Like it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad to be talking about, and kind of sad to realize. As we can see, like there's the crown there on the top right side. No, Kevin, thank you. On the top of your screen there, that's what I was talking about. They have a crown over the actual number for the booster, which is really cool. SpaceX still likes doing these nice little Easter eggs for some hardware. But they don't need to be pushing Falcon 9 as much as they used to. I mean, they're already scaling down operations, and the fact that the drone ship that they used to have recovering first stage boosters, just read the instructions, the second one, has been retired from Falcon service and is going to be what's the word? I'm going to be transitioned. Thank you. Is going to be transitioned to Starship hardware transport operations. Still in Port Canaveral, as far as we are aware. On our last flyover, didn't look any different at all.
No.
But that drone ship still has a lot of life left in it for whatever SpaceX wanted to do. And undoubtedly, it required some maintenance before it does that.
Hey, Max, did you mention a flyover? Did we post a flyover video here on the NSF YouTube channel?
Yes, a recent flyover that we did last week. It is currently live on our YouTube channel. The first one we've done in a long time. Like, we don't fly nearly as often as we used to. We were battling some stuff. We just wanted to make sure that we were doing things right. But in terms of our coverage, we wanted to make sure the Space Force was happy and all parties involved. But yes, our next KSC, or not, it's not just KSC. Our next Cape Space Coast update, I think is the proper terminology there, is live on our channel, and we have been covering Pad 36, 37, 39, Hangar X, Gigabay, Hangar X2, X3, proper Hangar X, so the first one, and a whole bunch more. So yes, they're back.
Yes, you should totally go check that out after this video and watch it in full and like and comment and subscribe.
Yes, absolutely. Shameless plug.
Thank you. Anyway, before I gave my opinion, were you going to add something more to the conversation?
Yeah, actually, and I wanted to bring that to you as well, because 1067 has 36 flights on it now. And Sawyer, what is EJ? I swear to God, I see you in the back channel
every time.
Every time. He's like having a seizure over there. I swear.
Okay.
I'm James Bame's not having a stroke, call ambulance. Rails, what are those? But 1067 is at 36 flights and nearing the milestone of a certain space shuttle orbiter that is currently at 39 flights. And so, while that is a really cool record to be hopefully seen past in the near future from the booster, the caveat that I would put with that record in terms of flight numbers is they're not the same vehicles, like not even close. Like a Falcon 9 first stage booster sends stage 2 off into orbit, and then these first stage either comes back to the launch site, gets sent downrange to land on a drone ship, or sent into the water. It doesn't come anywhere near orbit. Whereas the orbiter proper goes all the way to orbit, spends up to 2 weeks in orbit, and then comes back in, lands like an airplane to be used again. But turnaround time there was a lot longer than compared to what we're seeing with Falcon 9. Like, they're like not even comparable vehicles. Like, I'm just gonna say it, like they're not. But it is gonna be cool to see a first stage booster being reused more than an actual space shuttle orbiter, despite them not necessarily being the same class of vehicle. But shuttle reference.
Yeah. I mean, it really is the catch-22 there, because when you compare them, the Falcon 9 is in space less, and I think it's safe to say has a less fiery re-entry, and also doesn't have to keep people alive.
Yep.
But at the same time, the turnaround rate is so much faster. I mean, we basically said it. Falcon 9 is what Shuttle wanted to be. Just it's a little different now with how Crew is.
Kind of, and so is like Starship is going to be what the shuttle wanted to be long term. So
that's what
EJ. What was the finger?
I firmly believe that the shuttle could have gotten down to at least a 1 to 2 week turnaround time if we had wanted to. That it's not really the shuttle's design; it's the fact that we didn't want to that got it down. That made it 3 months.
I fully agree with that. With that. But the caveat there is if we wanted to. We obviously didn't want to enough.
Shame.
And we're gonna talk more shuttle. Don't worry. There's more shuttle to talk about.
Yes, there actually is.
I promise you that.
Yes.
Anyway, I should probably have been checking chat this whole time. I've just been so involved in this conversation that it's really. Starman with an interesting point. We're talking about the lifespan of Falcon 9. They're asking, what about the private space stations that are built around Dragon? Would they build new boosters for that? Or is that something where they kind of keep going with what they have? Would you feel comfortable flying on a booster with Crew that's reused, let's say, more than 15 times?
Oh, yeah.
At this point? Yeah. I think the only reason why NASA hasn't totally done that yet is because there are available boosters with lower flight rates and they just choose those. But like SpaceX has shown that those boosters are totally reliable, and I mean there are certain boosters that are probably better for Crew and some that aren't, because as with all things mechanical like boosters or planes or whatever you want to call it, there always is ones that give you more fits than others when it comes to valves or engines or whatever. So you have a really good fleet of vehicles you use for your customer payloads, your NSSL, your Crew, and then the fleet that's kind of like, whatever, they'll just do Starlinks. And that's the fleet that just does Starlinks, which you don't, I mean, you still care about, but you don't care about as much as you would other payloads and whatnot. So I believe that, they'll still keep those boosters around, and I know Starship will supplant Dragon, or especially Falcon 9 as a whole, but like I don't think you get rid of Dragon like at all. Like even when Starship is fully operational, even with Crew, even a small capsule like Dragon is still incredibly useful to have. Like, what if you use it as an escape pod for 4 people? I don't know.
Or as a certain ISS deorbit vehicle.
Yeah, I mean it still has its uses. That's why I say you keep around Falcon 9. And it's not like you're going to turn Pad 40 into a Starship pad. Like that footprint is a bit small for that. There's not a lot of room there to build a Starship pad there. So what else are you going to put there? Just keep Pad 40 running with Falcon. You've already got a Crew access arm there, and there you go. and you keep 39A Falcon Heavy because you're still going to run Falcon Heavy missions until Starship can do NSSL, and that is a long ways out. So,
Hear me out. How about, before Starship gets that human rating certification, right, for Ascent, send a Starship up there that has a docking port on the side, and you launch a Dragon to it, dock the Dragon to it, people ingress, then you go where you need to go.
yeah,
Just saying.
Ooh.
take the Dragon with. Why not?
I
Yeah.
like.
Just saying.
It's an escape pod, although it's not like it's got much of a propulsion system to take you anywhere. But it's an escape pod.
Super
nonetheless.
train coach.
All I'm saying, dudes, is that, we have the refined lunar architecture that SpaceX wants to do with pushing an Orion capsule on translunar injection. What's stopping them from doing that with Dragon attached instead of an Orion?
I mean,
Just saying.
Other than a Dragon heat shield?
Well, and also Dragon's life support system not being anywhere near equipped to last more than 4 or 5 days in orbit, as it is right now, on its own.
Minor detail.
Minor details.
On its own.
So you tie it into Starship systems.
Yes.
But it's although
was that
its
not
radiation
clear?
shielding also isn't great. You can't really tie that in either.
True.
Yeah, but you're next to it to your Starship. You put
That's true.
Starship.
You just put Starship in the way of anything. Yeah. There you go. EJ's got a point. EJ's got a point.
EJ does have a point.
What about Super Dragon?
What?
Here's a point.
Like, can they make a Super Dragon
Like
that has a better
Gray
heat
Dragon?
shield?
You mean Gray Dragon?
I was just
Red
going to
Dragon?
say that.
Well,
Gray Dragon,
yes,
Red Dragon.
I do mean Gray Dragon, but every time I bring up Gray Dragon, you guys laugh at me. But what if they took the design that they're going to use to deorbit the space station, which has more thrusters and more power and all that kind of stuff, and use that to go around the moon?
I mean, Kevin, we just laugh at you anyway, but...
Let's build a space station in low Earth orbit.
I am hilarious.
Hook up an HLS Starship and push the space station into lunar orbit.
Do it.
That's a whole other thinking, but here we are
Yes.
talking about Starship. But yeah.
You want to laugh at me some more? I'm gonna take us off the rails a little bit.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
We were
So,
on the rails?
No, I'm never on the rails. You know how we were talking about the reliability of Falcon?
Mhm.
Unfortunately, my sense of direction is not very good or reliable, apparently. I live in Connecticut.
Mhm.
It was a northeast trajectory.
Mhm.
I've seen Falcon 9s from the beach.
Mhm.
I decided to go to a different beach this time. And I looked the wrong direction. I was like, oh, I guess we couldn't see it today.
Oh,
I
dear.
turn around to walk back to my car, and I see the plume behind me.
Kevin,
Bum, bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
you goofy goober.
There's literally an app that will show it to you.
I know. Nextspaceflight.com.
Do you have an
Yeah,
iPhone,
for the
Kevin?
next Spaceflight app.
I do.
It has a compass, It's built
That
in
is,
compass.
I know.
That is-
I know.
Oh, goodness.
I was like, the water is south and east of me. I'm looking at the water. No, apparently I was in a cove that I didn't expect to be looking west.
You're supposed to look east, not west.
There
I
you go.
It's not a boulder. It's a rock.
But I hear it was a beautiful launch because there were
was.
tons of pictures
It was.
from
Was it,
Connecticut.
was it this
that-
most recent one, Kevin?
Yes, this most recent one.
The record
Yeah, I didn't
breaking
see
one,
it.
yeah.
Why were you up at 5 a.m.?
I was still working. It's we're prepping for the launch of a big rocket that's supposed to happen Wednesday. So that's when KMR starts doing maintenance overnight and trying not to interrupt Starbase Live. But
You're talking about
make
Starlink
sure we're ready.
17-48, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that is the most important launch of the week next week or this week or whatever.
Actually, it's supposed to launch in like 5 hours, 20 minutes, but still.
Oh, yeah. See, I've been in Starship land.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go back on the rails.
That's
We
not
won't,
possible.
but
Not
thank
gonna
you.
happen.
Oh,
By the way, TYAvaJ was saying, do we want to talk about the larger than normal TFR for this one?
Well,
you think SpaceX did that as a little precaution, maybe?
It's just in case the rocket decides to throw a temper tantrum. Okay, like so I don't know if Kevin has. I should have put that in the doc. But yes, the TFR in the NOTAMs, in essence, the keep out zones for both air and water along the ascent corridor were much bigger and much longer this time compared to what we normally see for Starlink missions going northeast out of the Cape. Nope, I'm being corrected. TFR was the same, only the NOTAMs. Okay. Only the NOTAMs were much bigger. And thank you. We have the graphic in the back channel, hopefully coming to your screen in a few seconds. But normally it's just the normal, I don't even know like what you would call that shape. Like a cutout of a circle. Like it's I don't know how else to describe it, but it's rather small and then about 400 to 600 kilometers downrange. Here we go. We have a pretty decently sized keep out zone for booster recovery and landing. Whereas this case, there is a big zone strutting out to the northeast of the what otherwise is normal NOTAM keep out zone. And that is obviously following the ascent corridor of Falcon 9. So if something was to happen, hopefully no one is going to be in the path. And obviously the risk is much higher when you're doing that with a booster that is flying is flying in for its 36th time and in otherwise unknown territory because it's the fleet leader. We don't know exactly how much more these Falcon 9 boosters can take on ascent or descent, right? So it's just being extra precautious in case something does happen. And now, and go back to the other one. That was the normal. Yeah, this is the normal, the normal exclusion zones by comparison.
Yeah, that was
obviously
for Starlink 10-50, the Starlink before this most recent.
Yes. So yeah, just playing it a bit safe in case something happens. Because again, we're in unknown territory with 1067 pushing towards 40 flights. So anything can happen.
And that's the fun of it. That's why you should still watch all the launches that we cover here at NSF.
Exactly.
You never know. All right, let me get to thanking some people here. Steph with a 10-pound tip at tips.nasaspaceflight.com saying just a bit of appreciation. Loved the recent jellyfish. Well, thank you, Steph. And yeah, I mean, that was a gorgeous launch.
Was.
Of course, my dumb self slept through it and missed a giant jellyfish, but
with a record-setting booster, mind you, never gonna let you live that one down.
Never gonna give you
never
up.
Gonna give me up. Never gonna let me down.
But you see, Kevin, at least you made an effort, though.
And you admitted it.
But I
I
was looking the wrong direction. I couldn't admit it at the time. Like I just had to. I got in my car. I went home and I went to sleep. I was like, I'm not telling anybody.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
That's really funny, dude.
It's hilarious.
Just what's over there? All right.
Yes, okay. Yes, I did go for the Rickroll. If you get a chance, Kevin, can we show the names? JC Davis saying once Falcon 9 boosters reach their flight limit, they should be donated to museums, and they suggest the U.S. Space and Rocket Center, please.
That would be awesome. It is a wonderful museum. It is a wonderful facility. Yes, in Huntsville, Alabama. I'm sure they would love a Falcon 9 first stage.
Here's what I say. If they all hit 40 and they don't want to go past 40 flights on those 4 boosters, you give one to the California Science Center. They can put it horizontal, put it vertical, wherever you want to put it. But they'll have a highly flown Falcon 9 booster plus Endeavor. So that'd be a fun one to put together.
They have a whole Electron there. They could fit it vertical.
Yeah. Just put it in the same building if you can just get it in there. And then basically give one to JSC because of how important
JSC already has one.
They have one.
They already have a Block 4. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
One goes. I know the visitor center already has one. They've got a side core, but I mean, one in the rocket garden on its landing legs. Yeah, and then either put one on its side, either in Uvar Hazy or in the Air Force Museum in Dayton. There's all 4. So
I'd say
maybe
you've
the one
run
doesn't
on
go to JSC. You put one to Varhazy and one to Dayton or something like that. Because I mean, Falcon 9's been pretty important to the U.S. Air Force as well as NASA. So like I mean, you've got 4 Flight 40 boosters, so figure out a place to put them. But there are definitely a lot of good locations to put those.
There's
or put one next to your first ever landed one that you have over at Hawthorne.
Or that too. Yeah.
Hawthorne already has one as well. Like they have the most historical Falcon 9 booster ever.
That's why.
Yeah.
Have a
you
flight
say,
record
here's
holder and the first one.
and then here's one that did 40 flights. So here's one that did 1, here's one that did 40. And you keep all the soot and everything on and be like, yeah, look at that.
There's a really nice museum up in Plymouth, Massachusetts called the Eric Johnson Space Administration Center for kids who can't space good and want to learn how to do space things good as well.
So you want one with the landing legs deployed in your backyard?
Yeah.
That would be epic, actually.
Okay,
yeah, that's what I'm getting at.
I was just making sure that we were covering the same bases here. Yeah.
If anyone, if actually, I'm not saying that on air. Never mind. I'll say it in the post show.
Oh gosh,
Elon, call me.
Not here.
Call me. I'll take one. I'll take one off your hands.
I'll DM you.
I'll DM you.
Yeah. Elizabeth Hopner gifting 10 Red Team memberships. Thank you very much for that. If you got one of those, please make sure to give them a big old thank you. Virginia Ramirez, thank you for becoming a PadRat member. Jacob with a question here with, I believe those are Denmark kroner, if my math is right. With the question, how many times has the quote-unquote booster flown? How many engines have flown that many times? Flying a type in tanks is not as hard as engines.
I don't know if I would say it's not as hard because, in essence, the tanks have to deal with different loads than the engines do. Like there are some telescopic tracking footage made available from NASA from previous RTLS missions where you can literally see the Falcon 9 booster like wobbling, like it's literally bending under the aero loads coming down to the LZ. So I would say they're equally challenging. Maybe not equally challenging. Engines are obviously very hard. Yeah,
in my mind.
But that is a good point. Like, who knows how many times those engines have been swapped out, and if there are engines that have flown more than some boosters. I wish SpaceX would give some data on some engines, but they actually just recently built their 1000th Merlin engine as well. So they do, just not publicly for the most part. I wish we knew.
Reasonable extrapolation there, right? If we've seen 1,000 Merlin 1D engines and how many Falcon cores?
We're at 104 now, I think, or so.
104, give or take. There you go. There's your average. That's just a mean average time of reuse on engines. I'm sure it's like right in the center, and I'm sure the average is probably closer. It's probably above 10, but give or take 10 reuses out of each motor, give or take.
Plus the second stages that have all been used, plus how many flights that they have. So you're talking 600 plus flights. So it's at least 600 plus second stages. So that's, I would say when you really consider that, if they're considering MVACs along with it, that's a lot of reuse on Merlins, which is impressive. And to me, a cycle is a cycle. So you put a cycle on an engine whenever you static fire it or fly it. Whenever you fire the engine up, that's a cycle on it. And then whenever you pressurize the tanks on Falcon, you're putting a cycle on that, on those tanks. So for cryo and for static fire, that's 2 cycles right there before the thing even flies. And then every time it flies, that's another cycle on the tanks, which is a little bit tougher of a cycle on the vehicle than just a cryo and a static fire. But still, it adds up. Both have their challenges to be able to refurb and refly an engine or a booster, and both are engineered the way they are to do that. So I think they're equal. They have their own challenges equally.
There's another thing to take into account that, Ryan, you're talking about cycle times. Like, take like a CFM56. You rebuild it after 15 and 20,000 cycles, et cetera, right? Like, they might have just made enough Merlin 1D engines to just, this one's down. All right, put a new one in there, right? Okay, the booster lands. Okay, another one has reached the right amount of cycles. Okay, take that off and put the one that we just had on there before. Yeah, exactly. We're at the point where you have enough engines here to just keep the fleet flying for pretty long time, right? Like, yeah, it's probably not even the fact that, like, taking the average time that we talked about, like, okay, it's roughly 10 flights per engine. I'll bet you that number can go a lot higher, especially with routine maintenance. You probably get it to double that at least. Just conservative estimate right there. Like, what I'm trying to tell you is that, it's a good question to ask, like, how many engines have flown, right? But also at the same time, like, I don't even think we're near maximum theoretical use of, like, every bit of Falcon 9 hardware in the fleet, right? Like, probably go on for a good while.
It's probably got a lot more life in it, to be honest, and probably a lot more than some people think.
Mm-hmm.
We shall see. Let me keep going here through the support. Gav saying, if you want to watch something stay on the rails, how about a train? Maybe UP4014.
4014. Nice.
I'm sure that was something EJ would get.
You don't know what 4014 is?
I probably do, but I'm not thinking about it right now.
It has wheels. You have wheels. I mean, it makes sense. How do you not know?
Mine have tires on them.
Don't be realist.
Don't be ableist.
Fair. Touche.
Telstar 86. Rickroll program has begun.
Oh my God.
Yes. Because I made the Rickroll joke, so I said Rickroll program.
God.
You didn't do the pause. You didn't do the signature max pause.
That is it. That's never even crossed my mind before. That is
It was
incredible.
not cross mine either. Yeah.
Rickroll
like it.
program. Good God.
That's good. It's a good one. Well, way to go, Telstar. Yeah, it's a good one.
Oliver Redmond. Where Jake? He's sleeping somewhere. Just Martin gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you very much for that. And Jim Yoder saying, there are enough Falcon 9 boosters you could send one to every aeronautical museum in the US and Canada and have some more to send to overseas museums. There's
Or
not
to
that
EJ's
many
house.
remaining.
There's like there's between like 22 and 24 active boosters in service. I can't remember the exact number. It's somewhere in the low 20s of active Falcon 9 boosters in
At some
rotation.
point, they're all going to get retired, and either they're going to get expended or retired. If they're retired and they stay around, like by the time Falcon 9 gets like shut down entirely and retired, SpaceX could have 20 plus boosters on their hands. And if they're like high flight rate, give them out. Like that is a piece of space history for what that kicked off. Like keep
100%.
around.
Mm-hmm.
We still wish there was.
By the way,
oh, I was just gonna say, like, we still wish there was one more booster that was still in rotation, but we're not gonna talk about that one booster.
Shazbert, by the way, say 4014 is the big boy, you uncultured swine. Thank you. So, talking about old boosters, you want about something else that's old?
You?
Me?
Yes, because I was there 15 years ago this week when the final space shuttle launch took place. At this time, 15 years ago, Atlantis was approaching the International Space Station for the final ever space shuttle dock, as we had STS-135, which launched July 8th, 2011. Golly, I can't believe it's been 15 years. It still, to me, kind of feels just like yesterday. But for those who don't remember, or weren't alive who are watching during that, which is scary to think, but I know is a reality. You had the crew of 4. You had Chris Ferguson, Doug Hurley, Sandy Magnus, and Rex Walheim aboard Atlantis for the final flight. There originally wasn't going to be a 135, but they found enough funding together to put one more mission into place after STS-134, which, yes, it's possible that the final shuttle flight ever would have been Endeavour. Just saying. And then Atlantis came along and took it. On board, though, was what used to be the Multi-Purpose Logistics Module, or MPLM, Raffaello, which then became the PMM, the Permanent Module. So you have the permanent one that is now attached to the station, and it's used basically to store stuff and extra room that they had aboard the space station. There were other experiments and things that went up, and that was also the last time that they were going to have down mass guaranteed for quite a while. So it was also about bringing things back down at that point. Talk about rough weather day. The original forecast was only 30% favorable and yet somehow it launched with an originally planned 30% go on weather. Turns out weather also wasn't the only reason it almost didn't launch that day. For those who remember, going back to the T-minus 31 second point, that is when everything would transition over to the auto sequence and everything on board the shuttle would take control of the count at that point. Just beforehand, they had a hold right before it switched over because they had an indication that the GOX hood, the gaseous oxygen hood, also known as the beanie cap, wasn't safely retracted and locked out of place. The sensor wasn't saying that it was locked. So they had to do a quick maneuver with different cameras around to see if they could look and see, and they found out it was locked. And with about a minute and a half left in the window, they were able to launch finally, and then land a couple weeks later at night at the Kennedy Space Center, marking the end of 135 missions and 30 years of the Space Shuttle program. The other thing that doesn't really get talked about after all of this was the fact that the area was a ghost town after that. Titusville, Cocoa, Cape Canaveral, Port Canaveral, that whole area was dead for years. Everyone had left. There was all the people that worked for USA at the time, not ULA, USA, which was another group that worked on Shuttle. And after that, they all basically just got let go and said goodbye. And so they all left Dodge. And it's nice to see it finally hopping and things going again. The other thing I remember vividly, besides the fact that it was the gray weather and everything looked so dark and gloomy like the future, was seeing our replacement vehicle a year later. We got to see a Falcon 9 rocket, this new rocket that, I don't know whatever happened to it, with a Dragon capsule on top. It was the COTS 2-3 or 2+ mission, depending on how you call it, where they were going to have this crazy idea of the first private vehicle to dock with the International Space Station. It was so stubby, it was so short, it was ugly. I was so sad. I'm like, this is our future rocket? This is what we're going to be relying upon for the future, especially to get to the ISS after this magnificent beast? It was ugly. Admittedly, that was also the early version where it had the tic-tac-toe engines and everything. It obviously is a lot better. Now, it looks a lot better. Reliable. It also at the time wasn't reusable. It was so sad in my opinion that this is our future. So it was kind of the introduction to reusability like we were talking about earlier in the show. I mean, just comparing what we had here to what we have now, just how much spaceflight has changed since then. How dramatic of a change do you think it really has been? And given that change, do you think the shuttle would still work in today's architecture?
I think yes. Ryan, go. Yes, that's my answer.
If you had a working shuttle and you could work out its kinks, its issues, and everything else, and you could definitely get the cost down, shuttle would absolutely still work in today's architecture. You still do runs to the ISS. You have shuttle doing runs to the ISS. You keep using it to build the ISS, or heck, build modules, modules to the ISS, build a new space station. I think you still get rid of some of the old parts of the ISS because there does come a point at which some things do reach its service life end, like where the ISS is reaching. But yeah, something like shuttle definitely would still be useful today. You still dock with it, can still use it to deploy SAS, use it to deploy space station modules in low Earth orbit. Because, again, there is still no rocket that has been able to deploy space station modules like the shuttle has, where it can actually deploy them and, you can do, EVAs to work on them. Like a vehicle like that still doesn't exist. Doesn't. And the only time it will is when Starship does it. It just doesn't exist. It would work perfectly fine in today's architecture. Absolutely.
There's a certain vehicle that utilizes shuttle hardware called the Space Launch System. I'm not sure if you've ever heard of it. So it very well could still work. I wish it wasn't so costly to fly. I mean, undoubtedly, if they found ways to lower the cost, it'd be a lot more feasible. But
how many shuttle flights could we have launched with the same amount of money that we spent on 2 Artemis flights?
And also the orbiters themselves, Discovery, Atlantis, and Endeavour, were old in years, but they were still young in terms of the flight hours that they were built to actually fly, right? One of the proposed methods of returning human spaceflight after STS-135 was the shuttle, was some sort of like a revamped USA or the I can never say the word United Space. There we go. It's either there we go again, but just the USA, like finding a way to bring shuttle back operationally after STS-135. That was one of the proposed methods post STS-135 for U.S. human spaceflight, but it just wasn't deemed feasible at the time, which led to a very dark period of time between 2011 and 2020, from the last time we flew people to space and the next time, which was obviously the DM2 mission, which also consisted of Doug Hurley and Bob Bankin aboard Dragon Endeavour from Pad 39A and Falcon 9. It could still work if we really wanted it to, but obviously we didn't want to bad enough. And Shuttle has since been retired, and all three operational orbiters have since found their places in museums. But yeah, it was a glorious beast to see fly. But also, we currently don't have a vehicle that, in theory, could be sent up to recover Hubble and bring it back for a display somewhere.
Can you imagine if you could take a shuttle airframe, and I know they're still working at the kinks on it, but slap a Starship heat shield on it?
God.
Or partially a Starship heat shield on it with some of the advances they've made with heat shield technology since then? Since the original shuttle heat shield was designed, I mean, I think you could find a way to get it even better overall. But like if you were to make a shuttle-like vehicle, not Starship, but shuttle, but maybe upgraded and kind of reduce the risk on it, I mean, it's definitely would still work today in a lot of different ways. And it is sad that it got retired, but there were a lot of reasons why it happened. Obviously,
I mean, they were also fairly modernized. I think it was after 2007
after
or 8.
Columbia.
Yeah, after Columbia, where they got more modern avionics. A lot of the old switchgear was swapped out for digital screens on board in the cockpit. Like it was a lot more modern system that would probably need a lot more work to modify with to bring it up to today's standards. But they found a way to make it work from 1981 all the way up to 2011, despite the amount of change in technology there was in that period of time. So undoubtedly, there would be a way to keep it working, but like it's so expensive.
Yeah, by the way, this is what I was talking about with how the old stubby one looked. This was the COTS 2 Plus launch. I was out there for that, and it was just like, this is it? With the old pointy Dragon with the solar panels, the solar wings on the side. I mean, look at Pad 40.
Yeah. Pad 40 doesn't look that much different, actually, which is really
well, they
strange.
rebuilt it, but yeah, of course, then it's got the cracks this time.
Well, there was maybe a mission that kind of forced that. Also, this was the... this, I believe, was the launch stream debut of one John Innsbrucker. Just saying.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
But yeah, I mean, the thing with Shuttle, newer ones, yeah, they went away with the tiles and went to as much thermal blanket as they possibly could. But you also, the fact that the Shuttle, all of those tiles were custom built for each specific spot on the orbiter and for each unique orbiter. Which, I mean, yeah, you could print on demand, essentially. I know it's better with Starship because they're basically all the same type of tiles for the most part, but I feel like retrofitting that would be ridiculously crazy.
And also, each orbiter was unique enough in that they all got different amounts of tiles. They all had their own little quirks and features in terms of like parts fitment and so on and so forth. Like we all love Columbia, but before Columbia met her unfortunate end in 2003, like Columbia was known as like one of the worst orbiters to work on because it was a lot heavier. It had a lot more tiles. It was just an older orbiter by comparison to the rest of the fleet. Like it wasn't pleasant to work on by those on the ground. Yeah, each orbiter was just so complex and required so many parts that they all were very unique to each other, despite looking very, very similar.
Like Sawyer, and EJ, or for anyone who watched Shuttle and watched how, like, basically U.S. space travel shriveled up when Shuttle retired. What if you were to try and travel to today and you see the booster static fire that literally happened, which we're going to talk about, booster 20 static fire. You see a Falcon 9 just a couple of days ago fly nearly 36 times now, and they have a fleet of 20 of them. They have how many launches they have this year? I think I don't remember what they're at this point this year.
They're approaching 100.
But they're almost at 100 this year with that. They've done multiple crew flights. Terranar's coming up, Nova's coming up, Rocket Lab's coming up, Vulcan's coming. I mean, yeah, the accident with New Glenn, but New Glenn's coming up, and then all the other rockets and everything. And the other thing we're going to get to is China just caught one. Can you imagine if you time traveled today and looked at? I think you're muted, DJ. Can you imagine if you time traveled today and saw that from back then, like all of this advancement? Hey, look, wow, he looks so young.
It's a young John Innsbrucker. Good lord.
Well, told you. Look at that. Talk about a debut.
Like, you'd be like, no,
sticker.
That's not. You travel time to the future and go, no, that's not real, is it? That's not real, right? Falcon 9 hasn't flown that much. It was just this dinky little rocket.
I mean, even just rewind 5 years, right? So 5 years ago, we still had Delta IV. We still had Atlas on a regular basis. And then Falcon 9 was launching roughly once a month, I think, at that point as well. They were targeting more, ideally 2 a month. But they weren't flying every 2 to 4 days. I mean, since then, obviously, Delta IV in both medium and heavy configurations has been retired. Atlas V just flew its last payload variant last week, I think it was. Like it's like even just in 5 years and since 2020, like the space, no pun intended, has changed so much. And imagine where we're going to be at in 5 years from now.
Yeah, CRS 12. I was at CRS 11 and 12. CRS 12 had, I think, 40 total media people credentialed. That's it.
That's it.
There was no more than like 40 or 50 people total. They were able to take us all out to the causeway for CRS 12 because you could see the landings at that point, and we barely filled the entire. We didn't even fill the entire media area. There was like
sad.
Nobody.
That's actually sad. Jeez.
That was during the middle of that downtime.
It really goes to show how much things have changed, not only in the last 5 years, but in the last 15 years. Like so much has happened, and it's ridiculous to also think about the plans that are ahead of. I'm not even going to include every other company, but SpaceX alone, with their plans on how much they want to launch, it's like you thought a couple shuttles a year was a lot.
Yeah.
Like holy, or a Falcon 9 every 2 days, 2.5 days was a lot. Like what SpaceX has planned. Yeah. That's insanity.
By the way, you thought John Innsbrucker looked young and talk about how much 15 years have changed?
Okay.
Go ahead, Kevin.
All right.
See, you've got it.
All right.
There you go. That was me at STS-135 15 years ago. Look at me. I was a baby.
Young Sawyer.
Little me.
Baby Sawyer.
Yep. That was when I was with a podcast called Talking Space at STS-135. We did that live broadcast on the air to a bunch of different radio stations across the country and a few international. That was my raw reaction to that launch.
That wasn't your first launch, was it?
Second. That was my first ever launch as media, though. STS-135. That was the first time I was ever at the press site.
I mean, let's think about the vehicles that were still flying in 2011, right? We had the entire Delta IV family, Delta IV, the standard Delta IV, medium, heavy. We still had Delta II back then as well. Like Delta II was still very much around.
Man, that Delta II.
Yeah, Delta II. And obviously Atlas V and a lot more configurations than we become used to. And of course, like beyond that, what? Breaking news, Sawyer is
Kevin.
old now. Yes.
Thanks,
Sawyer,
Kevin.
you
There's
are
a
old
couple
now.
of other ones in there. You want to see even more young, there's a couple other good ones in there, Kevin.
That's a water bottle.
That's a
There
water
you go.
bottle.
Look at me working there with the old badges before they have the new ones. And there's me in front of the old countdown clock with my team at the time. It was Mark, Gene, and Gina. But yeah. Look at that. The old clock and everything. Old clock, young me. Sorry. Just.
It's wild to
Yeah,
think that
and
the
then-
press site doesn't look that much different now by comparison.
Yeah, that's the shot there. Fun fact, where our tent is for 135 is almost identical to where the NSF tent was on the lawn for Artemis 2.
Really?
Almost the exact same spot. Yep. Almost the exact same. Except they had bleachers, so we were a little further towards the clock, or a little
Right.
closer to the clock. But yeah,
Forgot about
exact
those.
spot.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought that was cool. And now I'm old. And now I feel old. So, thanks. Anyway, we're not done with reuse technology yet, because it's not just US in the reuse game. We've got a sort of Starship, or a Falcon 9 knockoff entering the game, because of course, China makes all the good knockoffs, right?
Those are your words, not mine, dude.
Fine, then use your words, EJ.
All right. So, this morning, Long March 10B, there was a Long March 10B rocket that launched out of Wenchang. Wenchang is China's south launch site. It's on Hainan Island, kind of close to Vietnam almost. The Long March 10B is like a kind of a medium duty rocket. It's a single stick rocket with a Kerolox first stage and a Methalox second stage. Launched out of Wenchang, and the first stage has grid fins on it, but it also was carrying something else. It was carrying arrestor hooks, 4 arrestor hooks just below the grid fins, right? So when she went to launch, right, it went up in the air and it came down out over some cubic crazy catching mechanism that had arrestor wires in it. And when it went into the arrestor wire system, it deployed the arrestor hooks and grabbed the wires, and they caught it. They caught it with arrestor wires. Now, this pretty much marks the first time that China as a nation has ever recovered a first stage intact. It's a little bit of a different way than recovering like a Falcon 9 or a New Glenn, which uses the landing legs, Electron, which was supposed to use a helicopter and then didn't, and then it landed in the water and they ended up reusing an engine, or Super Heavy with the chopsticks, right? But this is the first time they got a stage back. It did come back. It looks to be okay. I mean, I think that when it was landing, the interstage may have been on fire, but it might just be the vehicle design.
Details.
I'm not too well versed in the Chinese rockets. But what I do know is that this rocket is a demonstrator. Long March 10B is a demonstrator for Long March 10, which is China's Super Heavy launch vehicle. It's a 3-core rocket that's somewhat analogous in function to Falcon Heavy, that will launch their Mengzhou spacecraft, which is their next generation manned spacecraft to the moon. It's going to launch their lunar capsule. If you're, quick high level overview of what China wants to do with their lunar ambitions. They have essentially two Long March 10s, which is a 3-core design, like somewhat analogous to Falcon Heavy, right? And one of them has the lander and the other one has the capsule, and they launch 2 of them and they go rendezvous out near the moon and then they land. This is a tech demonstrator, right? But maybe it'll find its way into the main Long March 10 design. That would be really neat. But yeah, they caught one. And I personally just want eyes on that catch mechanism, because I'm a big GSE fanboy. So I'm kind of looking at it going, how's that work? What's going on there?
I had no idea.
What's going on there? I do like launch and landing pads. It's pretty cool. Now, so here's the thing, guys. They have plans. China has plans on reusing this thing. They want to fly it again to demonstrate reuse, because right now it's just recovery. Now, we saw that interstage on fire. Is this rocket good enough to be reused? I don't know. I'm really kind of wondering what condition this thing is in. And then the other thing I was thinking about is, like, how viable is that catch mechanism in the long term? Is it going to require a lot of maintenance? The chopsticks require a lot of maintenance, but they don't go out to sea now, do they? this could find its way into Long March 10, but I don't know. I'm not sure, dude. And I'm not trying to take it down a peg or a rest or hook or two away from China. Yeah, right. I'm not trying to take them down a peg or two. I'm just not sure how useful this is in the long term. This is great for catching small things. Now, Long March 10, don't get me wrong, it's not a small booster by any means, but it's not super heavy either. I don't know. Sawyer, what do you think? You think this thing is useful in the long term?
Well, first off, what do you get if you cut that in half? Long March 10. What's half of that?
Long March 5.
Long March 5.
I see what you're doing.
Haven't done that.
I see what you're doing. Yeah, that's an old one. But a good
Oh yeah, but there's still a command for it. Watch out, Jakey. All right, so I think that I will say it's better than their current plan of dropping first stages, which is usually on villages. So this is a much better idea, if we're going to be honest here. I hope for their sake that it's something that works. It's something that becomes the standard. So that, again, not just for the sake of reusability, but for the sake of being good launchers for the planet, of not disposing junk if they don't have to, and of where it's disposed of. At least this one goes down into the ocean. That black smoke at the top did not look normal. I'm going to say that. That looks like something they're probably going to have to fix. But then again, it's China. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen in the future, if that was supposed to be, because China typically doesn't tell us that stuff, because China. So I hope that this becomes a success for them. Is the arrestor hook going to be the way to go? I mean, it's probably, in their case, less complicated than chopsticks, especially after what we're going to talk about later with the video that came out today. It seems like the chopsticks and all those mechanisms are a little on the complicated side, so why not just catch on wire?
And I also wonder if there's going to be any sort of size limitations there in terms of the infrastructure that they can fit on a boat if they want to size up the boosters that they want to catch with this sort of mechanism. If it's really worth the trouble of building it, if it's worth the weight that's going to be, because it's not going to scale linearly in terms of the ground infrastructure, or the sea infrastructure, I should say. I don't know. I wonder, because there's a lot of moving parts, and there's a very tight window, a very small area for the rocket to come in successfully, and there's a lot of hardware to hit if it gets it wrong. So I wonder. It's interesting. It's novel. I'm glad. I get it's a demonstration vehicle, but I do wonder if there are going to be any sort of size or weight limitations going forward if they want to size up the vehicle.
Like, I know it's supposed to be demonstrated for a full Long March 10, but are you going to land all 3 cores? So you need 3 of these then?
Yeah.
You're going to land all 3 cores?
This is what I'm getting at, Ryan. Like, that
doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Right? Exactly. I mean, they're gonna have to come up with another solution. I'm not saying they can't either.
I know they have plans for boosters with landing legs and grid fins to land on landing pads, which might be a little bit easier. But to do 3 of these out in the sea to catch, yeah. So, like, okay, and I guess Alex is saying the triple core version would be fully expendable. Then I would say it's like, what's the point? Then is the point to say, oh, we can do this?
Yeah,
and then what rocket are you going to put it on to use it regularly? Like I know how copycat China gets, and they do, but like, okay, you did it. What rock is it going on? And are you going to use it regularly? That's what I want to know. Are you going to use it more than once? Is this going to be the only time you do this? Are you going to do it once or twice more? Because I know they're not really making money more of these, because they're trying to demo different parts of their moon rocket, and then they're going to put it all together and then launch it fully expended. And then that's going to be that. So, I mean, I don't know. It's cool. It becomes the second rocket ever to be caught, and it becomes the fourth rocket ever to be successfully recovered without splashing down. So so it joins New Glenn, Falcon 9, Starship. And then actual recovered rockets, it joins like Electron, and if you want to count the Shuttle SRBs or Ariane SRBs or whatever, we can go into the weeds on that one. But, actual like recovered without splashdown, it joins a family of 3 other rockets, but actual reusability, is it going to get reused? I don't think it is. Are you going to make more that's going to get reused? Then it's kind
They
of like
plan
a
on
one of its
reusing
own.
this one, dude.
It's
They
kind
want-
of
Guys, is it supposed to do that? Like
wiggle?
the shaky?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just the
Yeah.
arrestor hook, dude. Yeah, it's supposed to wiggle woggle around
It's
like
got
that.
the bungee on it.
Yep.
If you look at Starship onboards or Super Heavy booster onboards, when it comes in through the thicker parts of the atmosphere, you also see the grid fins wobbling under the load. So I imagine there's always going to be some play in there. Granted, you want as little as possible, but also it's the first rocket of its design from China. So I think they just built it as best they could.
Yay! More tiny internet satellites
Right.
in low Earth orbit. Woo!
plus slop links, plus
Yeah, but I mean, it's one of those where they really try and one up you, because I think this vehicle is 2 meters taller than Falcon 9. As like a see, we made it bigger. So.
How wide is it again? How wide is Long March B? 10B.
Long March B. I like that. Now Long March B.
I forget how wide the booster is. But either way, I guess
it's a 5 meter core, dude.
5 meter core.
No,
So
3 meters.
this is this is Terran then.
It's big. Like I said, it's not a
Apparently
small
it's-
rocket. Like
Sorry, apparently it's 2 meters shorter than Falcon 9, not
Yeah.
bigger.
So it's a shorter Terran then, basically, which lands on cables. So that's what you're going to use for your mega constellations. What's the? I'm going to be asking. I don't remember what the payload is to Leo with it reusable. I don't even know if they know exactly.
Well,
Or which one?
get that
This
info.
or
Give me 1 second.
Terran R.
oh yeah.
Terran R is 2025 to Leo.
Yeah, Terran's
with
25
with
to Leo,
reuse.
which
Uh,
feels
this-
low
Supposed to be
for a
70
rocket
this
of that
thing's-
size,
to
but
Leo.
Long March 10B is 11 tons.
16 tons to Leo in reusable configuration is what Alex says. So that's basically, that is Falcon 9, basically. Falcon 9 is 17 for ASDS. So that's basically Falcon 9. That is literally a Falcon 9. It's just a different way to land the booster.
Falcon might be closer to 18, but that's just nitpicking. I think. I don't know.
Either way, I know they mostly run 17 tons ASDS with the Starlink runs. But
Still. Talk about stealing all of the details. It's basically a mashup of Terran plus Falcon 9 plus a bit of Starship plus the entry profile and engine number of New Glenn. Hopefully without the catastrophic results of the engine or the static fires, but yeah.
That's also kind of what ZQ3 was as well, or is, which is another Chinese, soon to be probably a reusable rocket, which has the engine configuration and size and looks of a Falcon 9 in terms of proportions, has grid fins like a Falcon 9, but has strakes like New Glenn and runs on methane. So,
and then they're making Long March 10C, which is their Terran R. It's a Methalox booster, 80 meters tall, 20 to 25 tons in Leo. So that is literally Terran R.
And also ZQ3 is also made of stainless steel as well. So also Starship.
So there's a lot of similarities to some American rockets. Which, I mean, there comes a point in rocketry where you add a lot of similarities when you're doing things. About the only rocket that's not similar to everything is Neutron, just because it's weird. Just looks wrong in every way, shape, and form. I'm sorry, I don't like the way the original Neutron looked cool. The current design just looks wrong. I'm sorry.
Tell me how you really feel, Ryan. Actually, don't do that. We'll be here forever.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
But either way, there comes a point at which rocket design is rocket design, and there's a certain way you design rockets, and that's the way it looks, and that's the way it works. So,
although Ryan, you're a huge fan in chat, called it copy and paste 10.
In a lot of ways,
10.
yeah.
Yeah, that was from huge Ryan Weber fan in chat. EJ, I want to know your thoughts on all this, because we've been talking about it. What do you think?
I'm not sure that this is going to scale for potentially bigger boosters, but if we're talking about PLEO constellations and even just low Earth orbit access for maybe Mengzhou when that's ready, if it's light enough. Yeah, I think really at the end of the day, if you think of this Long March 10B, if you think of it more like Falcon 9 RDEV 2, it makes a lot more sense. That's an old school Falcon reference. I'm not sure if everybody's going to understand what that is. Falcon 9 RDEV 2 was the hopper that they use, which is basically Falcon 9, but it only had 3 engines. China just sent it with all the engines and then made it into an orbital vehicle. Now, in the same way that F9 RDEV 2 led to Block 5, right? This is probably going to lead to some solidified variant. I mean, my guess would be Long March 10C, which is what you guys were talking about. But I'm not like 100% sure the arrestor will work with something like Super Heavy, for instance. It works with this. I mean, I guess I don't see why you couldn't scale it up, but
It's a pretty big.
that would be a real big catch cube. Do we call it a catch cube?
Sure.
Is that what we're going to call this?
Catch cage?
The catch cage?
Sure. We'll go with that.
And don't get me wrong, it's not to say that it isn't impressive either. I'm not trying to take him down a peg or two. That's not easy to do that. It's not easy to do that at all. And they seem to have a pretty viable CONOP pathway with the whole Long March 10 architecture for low Earth orbit constellations, potentially lunar missions, et cetera, Like, yeah, I mean, it's a pretty big achievement. You know, the other thing is like people are like, oh, it's just like when Falcon 9 first landed. I would say just a straight unbiased that this is not a fully fleshed out system. It's probably close, and it's probably going to lead to other ones. But I wouldn't put this on the same on par with like Falcon 9 just yet. Maybe New Glenn if you want to make that argument, because New Glenn hasn't flown a lot. But yeah, I mean, but it shows either way that China's figuring this stuff out. And I think the biggest thing that to take away from this is that reusability is not a fad. It's not a fad. It's not something that SpaceX does. And it's not even something that just the West does, right? This is now, you see another country, completely different philosophy when it comes to building rockets and making rockets fly, also pursuing reuse. I think that's a very important message as spaceflight fans to get that reusability is the future. Throwing stuff in the ocean is dumb. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Artemis
Shuttle.
ULA. Sorry.
Yeah. There you
Ariane 6.
Yeah.
Vega.
By the way, someone in chat, EJ, made the perfect point of what we need to call it.
Yeah.
It's not the catch cube. It's the square hole.
Yep, that's right.
Oh
Long March
my
10B goes
God,
in the
yeah.
square hole.
The rocket goes
right.
in the square hole.
Square hole.
It's literally a square hole that it catches with.
You know where the
It's
Long
beautiful.
March 10B goes? That's right. It goes in the square hole.
Oh, there we
It's
go.
beautiful.
New name
There you
achieved.
go. Yeah.
Oh boy. Resistor Jet was wondering, why do we think that they chose to land at sea on a barge without legs rather than try RTLS? Safety or another reason? First off, China, safety, rockets, ha ha ha. But, what do you think?
To be different.
It takes a lot more propellant to bring a booster back to land than it would otherwise to try and land it at sea. And we can already see how long it has to hover to line itself up with the proper opening. So probably just they didn't have the propellant margins in the design, or at least with this trajectory, or maybe that's just not what this rocket is optimized for. But it takes a lot more propellant to bring a booster back to land, back to its launch site, than to try to have it land out on a drone ship. It's the same reason why we rarely see a Falcon 9 RTLS anymore, just because the the payload weight requires a lot more propellant to bring it to where it needs to go, whether it be to a low Earth orbit or a geostationary transfer orbit. It takes a lot more propellant to get a payload there, and with what they have left over is not enough to turn the booster around in 180 and bring it back to the launch site. So I think it's just not in the way this rocket is currently designed.
I think with China, it's purely pragmatic. They have a very conservative, pragmatic approach to their rocket science. You know, It's probably and they have such a gigantic industrial base at this point. Just build the Tesseract cube. Just build the catch cube out there and put it on a barge. What do they not have more barges? What do they not have more ships?
Stone in it?
Right? Yeah, exactly. Where did that leave you? Right back to me. The grid fins, probably.
Yeah.
Like it's probably less expensive and less time engineering a rocket that has the delta V to move all the way back, at least for right now.
Yeah.
Right? Like I said, it's just a pragmatic, pretty conservative approach to engineering. All right, do a downrange landing first. Build this ridiculous Rube Goldberg contraption to see if it works. It's easier to just do some metal work than it is to engineer a rocket to go further, right? Like, it's a pretty pragmatic solution. I think that would be the right call if I was in their shoes. That's what I would do. Make it just simple. Keep it simple.
Exactly. Well, we'll see if they end up catching any more of those. See, normally I always confuse catching Falcon 9 and landing Starship, all that. Don't have to worry about that with this rocket, because it is just catching the booster. By the way, I should point out, we at NSF catch a lot too. We catch a lot of amazing shots that are available as prints at shop.nasaspaceflight.com, along with our summer sale too. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of new prints that were just added, especially with the 4th of July that passed. And of course, there's still a lot of patriotism. And we got a bunch of Starship ones, especially with Flight 13 coming up, because that's going to be our next topic. Don't worry, we're getting to it next. You may want to stock up on all your Starship stuff now. That way you're prepared and ready once the launch happens. As you can see also, of course, if you still want to relive Artemis, I know you were hanging out with the crew a bit there, Max, this week, reliving some of the Artemis love in the shop as well. So you should check that out. And again, because it is summer, if you want to look cool in the heat, we also have all of our summer deals as well. Yeah,
prints?
hey. Yeah, there you go.
Hey.
I know some of it's cut off the screen, but this is Flight 12 up here. That's Tyler Gray. This is Sawyer for Artemis 2. That's Max. That goes you. And then that's Jack from Flight 10. So there you go.
Jack? Anyway.
Nice.
You check that all out, shop.nasaspaceflight.com, and all the other awesome summer gear that we have there too. So you can stay cool and look cool. Speaking of looking cool, I mean, things look pretty cool today with Starship as we get closer to flight. Let's go all in now on Starship. Told you we get there, folks. I made sure we left enough time because there was a lot to talk about. Ryan, where do we even begin with this?
We'll start with Booster 20 rolling out to the pad yesterday, literally. The middle of the day, the 9th. It was supposed to be early in the morning, and then they took too long to get out of the bay, so they had to delay till mid of the day. But I'm kind of glad they did because we got nice shots of the booster. I got to see engine numbers, especially when they went to lift it on the mount. So that was really nice to see.
117.
What?
Engine 117, dude.
Yeah, engine 117. Yeah, and the Master Chief engine. I wish they had a little Master Chief on the side, or they put S117 as in Spartan 117 on the side. That would have been really cool. But anyways, rolled it out to the launch site, put it on the launch pad, and hooked it up to everything all night long. And then early this morning, they went into operations literally right away. Was it 7:05, 7:06 is when the methane reclaim vent started. And then at 9:55, we didn't know if they were going to do a static fire today or if they were going to go to an igniter test. We didn't really know for sure what they were going to do today. So we were just kind of all waiting when the prop load finished and they got to T0. I was kind of just waiting to see what would happen. And lucky for us, after rain, we got a 33 engine static fire. And it wasn't like the same one that Booster 19 had done. It wasn't only like 10 seconds either. It was 24 seconds long, which, by the way, is a record for Super Heavy. The only other static fire that was longer before this was the single engine by Booster 7 on August, I think it was August 11th of 2022. And that was to test their new autogen pressurization systems on the booster. I love the low exposure shot.
Oh,
Like,
it's so
yeah.
good, dude. Peak.
And we'll talk about it a little bit later too when we go into the video that SpaceX made about apparently how not hot it gets inside there. Because they had some, they had some interesting ways to show about how it doesn't get very hot in there. Is pretty good. We'll go over that when we get to it. But it's really nice to see. They went straight in. I think it really goes to show their confidence in the pad systems and the booster. I was expecting an igniter test or just a tanking test, because they made a decent amount of changes to the liquid vapor return for the LOX side, which is basically where they take the LOX they use to chill the lines down and the bleed off gas. They basically route it back. Before they would just vent it off. Now they route it back to a pair of tanks, and then they vent it off from those tanks. So it's a lot more, condensed, and they're not dumping liquid oxygen onto the ground. If they have any liquid oxygen left over, it's basically dumped into the. It's basically just dumped onto the, into the tank, and then they just vent it off as they go. But basically, it was nice to see them have confidence to go straight into the test. And as a little bit of breaking news too, we can talk about it here. But I see engine. Kevin's got a really nice engine shot up. We can talk about that. You can see some wire harnesses on there. Some go up into the chines. It's been kind of questioned whether or not they can do that at the pad or not. They can take those off. That question has kind of been answered, but there's also Raptor engines on here that were on Booster 19, which were damaged, repaired, put onto Booster 20, and now will fly with Booster 20 at this rate, and even static fire with Booster 20. So that's really nice to see SpaceX repairing engines and reusing them. But I think some of the big news too is I think a lot of people were questioning whether or not Starship would roll back, or the booster would roll back or not. But tomorrow night, there is a closure from 2 a.m. to 8 a.m. from pad to production. So I think some people were saying this could be the transport stand. They wouldn't roll the transport stand back this early. This is very likely Booster 20 going back to Mega Bay 1 to possibly get FTS if it doesn't already have it, do some final checkouts. There was a closure for production of Massey's, but that has been canceled for tonight, so we don't know what that is, but I'm going to guess that wasn't Ship 40. So I would guess at this rate, Booster is going to go back to the Bay, get some final stuff done. Ship will get its payload, and then they're both going to go out for flight, which could be as early as next week at this rate. But I guess I'll ask you guys, as I know EJ was on the stream with me, but how was that static fire? Because that looked amazing. Like, seriously.
Oh, I think it was great. Ryan, when I was there with you, I used awesome, as the describing word. That was awesome. I mean that in the actual sense of the word. That is awe-inspiring. That is an insane amount of energy being dumped out of that thing all at once. And if we want to use the right measuring system, we need to use F-150s per second or per minute or something. If you know, you know.
It was per second.
Yeah, F-150s per second. If you know, you know. I'm like, I don't mean to like kind of over exaggerate or embellish, but Super Heavy scares me, man. That we've seen all kinds of static fires, sometimes dynamic fires. You've seen all kinds of rockets go off. We've seen SLS go off. In Artemis 1, it sent that huge vapor cloud up into the sky, which was amazing. At SRB ignition, dude, when this thing fires, I'm like, whoa, okay. I'm taken aback. But look at that, dude. It looks like it blew up.
18 million pounds of thrust, dude.
Right?
18 million pounds of thrust.
Sitting here like
33 engines.
Whoa. Okay. All right. I'm sorry, Super Heavy. I was unfamiliar with your game. Like that thing's scary. Like,
so
it's a beast, dude.
For numbers that we got from that video, since we're talking about the static fire anyways, That deluge is 650,000 gallons of water per minute, which I just want. So that's a lot. It's a lot of water. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah.
Now that is used to counteract, and this is at full thrust. 65,000 pounds per second of propellant going through those 33 engines, or 29.48 tons of propellant per second. Now, for reference, the Saturn V's 5 F1 engines did 15 tons per second. So double the propellant ingestion of Saturn V.
It's crazy, dude.
But that's through 5 engines compared to 33 engines on the booster, which makes the F1 look just all that much more insane.
Oh,
honestly.
I mean, the F1 is insane. That does make the F1 look nuts. But still, it just goes to show the raw power of both of those boosters, the S1C versus Super Heavy. And I mean, I was not expecting a 24-second static fire at all. I am so glad we got it. It looked absolutely amazing, and probably one of the best shots is from CP11 here, where all of a sudden, like after near the end, where the clouds start to clear, all then you just peer straight into the red, like it's peering into hell. Like, and that's kind of what it is in that trench, basically.
It's the most. It's probably safe to say, like during that time when the engines are lit, like that's the most intense environment on the planet.
Other than inside a volcano.
Maybe. Yeah. But I think like what really gets me is the fact that a trench, as it's not small. It's not. But when SpaceX we saw they were first digging a flame trench for Pad 2 for a whole redesign, I figured the trench was going to be a lot deeper and a lot longer than what it is. Like that is, in my opinion, that does not look like a lot of area to contain and divert 18 million pounds of thrust worth coming out of a single booster. But obviously, it's enough, and the deluge system obviously did great today. But it holds up. Obviously, Pad 2 is a marvel of engineering in itself. So is Starship, but Starship does not leave the ground without the pad. So, it's just a wild sight. Go ahead.
The thing is that trench. Lengthwise, it is a little bit shorter, but in terms of width and height, it's comparable to 39A and 39B.
Yep.
It's got a more powerful deluge system, though, way more powerful than you would ever needed for Saturn V, Shuttle, or SLS. It's got way more powerful deluge on that front, but
it perhaps doesn't look like it because the trenches at Pad A and Pad B are all dug into this great concrete. Mound.
It's 52...
and this is and obviously a lot of this is actually visible from our cameras, which are at ground level. But
it doesn't look like
one that ended up on the ground.
Yeah,
because 39A and 39B, those trenches are a part of a concrete structure that's 52,000 cubic meters of concrete. They didn't use that much for this pad, but most of it's stainless steel. A lot of it's stainless or other types of steel, but basically, it's speed core, so you're talking about 2 steel plates, and then you fill the inside with concrete. That's what the walls are made of on this. So there's no exposed concrete. It's all steel that gets hit by the exhaust. And they basically built this thing to just tank it and take it as many times as it could. One of the things in the video, which we'll get to, is that again, it kind of goes right back to this. Is they said they built this thing to launch every 60 minutes indefinitely. Is the way they built that pad, which is
badass.
That's
super cool.
So you go into an engineering room and go, hey, this is how we want to build this pad. We're going to build it to do every 60 minutes the most powerful rocket ever built and do it infinitely without ever having to replace any parts.
Go.
Although they'll probably have to replace parts eventually, but I don't know how many launches it'll take to get to that point. But either way, that's nuts.
Oh, and we were talking about the flow rate of F-150s per second. It's what was it? It's about 15 F-150s a second. For the metric people, just in case you were confused, that's 60 Fiat Topolinos a second. just for the metric folks.
Just for the metric folks.
Yeah, just for the metric folks.
Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Oh, that was good.
See, I am cognizant of all forms of measurement.
Wait, what was that? Fiat what?
Topolino.
I'm blanking on what a Topolino is. I don't know why. Forgive me.
It's this little tiny electric.
The 500?
It's no, it's like as small as an original Fiat 500, but an electric vehicle.
Oh, here we go. Kevin's about to show us.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of funny looking, yeah. If I do say so myself.
Oh, this thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
hopefully the
this
metric
thing.
folks understand now. You know.
There you
Hello,
go.
Topolino!
Hello, Topolino.
Bellissimo
So 60 of
Topolino.
those per second, then. Okay.
Yeah, 60 Topolinos a second. That thing's about, it's like, well, closer to 500 kilos. So, yeah. Yeah.
Also, the people that are in the distance, how they look already big, and that's with perspective, and there's no door. Yeah. That's how
It's just
small
a
it is.
strap.
Yes.
Yeah, just a strap.
That looks like a carnival ride or something, not an actual real legal car.
Hey, that is a perfectly useful form of practical European transportation.
Caveat there being European transportation.
Well, it's for the metric folks.
It's for the metric folks.
Is that
It's
not
for
about the
metric
size of a Hummer wheel?
It
whole
it
thing?
has like the most like dead face I've ever seen on a car. It's just
Pretty sure that could fit in an F-150's pickup bed. I'm just
probably
saying.
The
Probably.
full size, yes. Full size. I don't know about the mid size bed. But
I think
bed, yeah.
we could all pick it up. It's 1,000 pounds. We could
we
pick
could
pick that up.
100% pick it up.
We could pick that up.
Yep.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
don't need
which,
those
by the way,
stinking
you were-
doors where we're going.
You weren't kidding. That
The
is the
bed of an
most European
F-150.
face where it's all deadpanned.
Like that car, like literally, if cars had faces, that one would just be.
Yeah, Eric in chat has the appropriate emoji for it. The
Yeah.
straight line.
You ask people about cool European cars, and they just look at you like this.
They look at you like that rocket. Anyway, Telstar86, by the way, saying, I'm sure it's on everybody's minds when Flight 13 patch. You know the drill. Full stack gets a patch release. And
It's a
Here's
good
the
one.
video.
It's a very good patch.
yeah, and Gog coming in, Ryan, you're putting prints on your prints. When you
Sure.
were touching the prints.
Oh,
You're
sorry.
getting prints
Yeah.
on the prints.
I can clean them.
All I can think of is those who know the Animaniacs joke about fingerprints. Those who know.
Mhm.
Anyway.
Mhm.
Ryan, we have some other stuff still to talk about, don't we?
Yeah, they.
Yeah. Hang on, folks. Kevin's trying to talk to you.
Yeah, really quick. I just wanted to let chat know so they don't get nervous. We are going to release the patch after full stack, but it will be the first daytime stream after full stack. Because a lot of people get nervous that they're going to miss out if we do it in the middle of the night, so they stay up all night long and stuff like that. It will be the first daytime stream. So people will have a chance of being awake when it happens. I think we released it at like 5 o'clock in the morning on Flight 12. And that was just like, what? Why did we do that? So yeah. If we have to make an extra stream to do it, we'll do that. But a little different from what we've done in the past. Just want to make sure everybody knows.
Thank you, Kevin. There you go. So yes, everyone will have a chance to get it. Don't worry. Yes, it's really awesome. And I see some people in chat that got the reference there. Eric, by the way, is saying, what's the problem, Kevin, with people staying up all night to watch rockets?
Wouldn't know. Never happened to us once.
Never happened.
Never happens.
No, not at all. Not even this morning.
I go to bed at a reasonable hour, you know?
Define reasonable.
Right?
It's like 5 or 6 a.m., right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what do you think I was talking about?
After looking the wrong direction towards a rocket.
I didn't do that. I've never done that. No, sorry, man.
Huh.
Also, yes, when we mean daytime stream, we mean daytime in Starbase.
Yeah.
Yeah, daytime and start, and like it could be 9 o'clock at night, like it could be getting dark, but like during normal human hours, not
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock in the morning.
F-150 hours, not Topolino hours.
Starbase time, yeah.
You can't even drive that Topolino at night. The lights are so tiny you can't see.
Is it bad if I like it? Like, I don't know what that says about me. I think it's cool. It's a little go-kart.
Just stick 2 flashlights on it and you get brighter headlights.
Turning on the headlights on that car as well would probably kill the battery in like 5 minutes as well.
Also, sorry, it's a European car. 2 torches, not 2 flashlights.
Torches.
Anyway.
Well, you
also,
got permit for
Telstar
those
86
torches,
saying,
mate.
yeah, getting the reference there. I used to dust for Prince, but he preferred to be called the artist formerly known as. But Tish.
Can we just say this shot here? Yeah, can I stand in the trench? Can I?
You want to stand in the trench? That'd be
Like-
a cool
like-
place to
like,
be. Just
can-
not
can
during
With the engines
T0
on?
though.
Prince.
Yeah.
No, of course not during T0, but like even if there's no vehicle on the pad, I want to stand in that trench. It looks amazing. It looks fun.
It really does.
And here they were let's see.
Oh,
They're-
the arms are opening, by the way.
Yeah, they're
Tower's
going
arms
up,
wide.
they're going back up again. They might do some more testing with the arms. I mean, the road closure is not tonight; it's tomorrow night. So,
Yeah, actually, Ryan, Alex has a good point in the back channel saying you're already in the flame trench.
I am in the
Ah,
flame
he
trench,
said
but I
the
want to be in that
thing.
flame trench. I mean,
He
this
said
flame
the
trench is
thing.
fun, but who doesn't want to be inside the Starship flame trench,
Thanks,
Fair.
Kevin.
right? Like,
Fair.
We should do a flame trench in the flame trench.
you know, if we could get SpaceX to let us set up down there and have all 4 of us sitting in that flame trench, and we do the flame trench from there, let's do it. But I don't know if SpaceX will let us do it.
We know
Any
people.
company that wants to let
I'll
us
wear a
do
hard
flame
hat if I
trench
have
in a
to. I'll
flame
do it.
trench.
What'd you say,
Right?
Sar?
Let any company give it to us. There's a bunch at the Cape with launch pads. Let us do a flame trench from the flame trench.
Yeah.
Reach out
Yeah.
to our business email.
I'll even take like Complex 34's flame deflectors at this point. You know, we're not picky.
We're not picky.
Not picky. You know.
Anyway, I think we have some other stuff to talk about with Starship, Ryan, and we'll get to more questions in a bit. But there's a lot of other stuff to discuss, right?
Yeah. Oh, wait. The closure is tonight. It's at 2 a.m. tonight. I was getting my dates wrong.
I mean, technically that's
Tomorrow.
tomorrow.
But yeah,
Technically.
technically it is tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow night. It's tonight,
9
but
hours
early
from now,
morning tomorrow.
basically.
But anyways,
8
so
hours.
when they basically started talking about some of the issues they went through with the original static fires, the 10 engine original static fire, it seemed like it was an issue with some loading on the clamps and some other stuff with the diverter, because the guy is like, yeah, hey, we never tested, we never really tested these clamps and all these systems with this amount of prop and everything above it, because you know they never had a vehicle up on there. And then they talked about how when they did that 33 engine static fire attempt, that abort was because there was so much shaking from the 33 engines that it rattled and caused vibrations in the sensors in the trench that it caused an abort. They underestimated the amount of vibrations they had, and it caused an abort. That's kind of nuts. It goes to show just how powerful that booster is.
Like I said, man, it's scary. It's a scary amount of power.
Oh, it's nuts how much power that's in that thing.
And yet, it can withstand all of it. I'm sure we'll get to the melting Sharpie point.
that was hilarious. Oh, okay. Let's show this first because this is hilarious.
That's amazing.
Look at that.
I'd drive it.
I can see EJ in a Topolino.
I don't think I could fit in one,
Starbase
dude, but
vehicle?
I don't think
drive
we
it,
can
sure.
fit in one.
I don't think I could fit in that, but I'd drive it. Why not?
Those
I'm-
look almost like Tillet sports seats. I don't know.
By the way, can I just point out, I was looking it up. It is an 8 horsepower electric motor with a 5.4 kilowatt hour battery and an estimated 46-mile range at a top speed of 19 to 25 miles an hour.
Jeez.
Horsepower?
It's a golf cart.
Horsepower?
Eight,
It's a golf cart.
8
It's a
horsepower.
golf cart, dude.
Some
That's
lawnmowers
cool.
have more power than that.
Yeah, but dude, you could buy a golf cart, or you could buy that.
I'd rather
I'd
have
buy
a golf
that.
cart. I'd rather have a golf
8?
cart.
Yeah, where are you
Come
going to
on.
fit your golf clubs in that?
Right?
Don't worry, dude. There's a luggage rack on the back. I'm not even kidding. Like, dude, Fiona's not paying me to say this. I saw it. I'm like, oh, look at that thing. It's so small.
Oh my god.
Is that going to be
think-
available in the States or not at all? Do we know?
I don't know.
It's just made available in the UK as of this past month.
So probably.
So this part of the video was when they did the 33 engine static fire, the actual successful one on 19. It's hilarious to see the smiles on their faces when they realized it worked. It worked. That was powerful, and you can the sound of it shaking that building
Yeah.
is nuts. It's hilarious, but it's always awesome to see the smiles on the engineers' faces when something they've built finally works. Everything comes together.
It works. I finally invented something that works. Flux capacitor.
I should have grabbed timestamps. Oh, this is a really fun one. This is where they did the full launch rehearsal, and to see the clamps and everything close up close.
And then the
that's smooth.
Dude, you just want to make the
the symmetry.
Like you just want to make the Transformers.
Yeah, right.
You know,
right.
Or like those balls that used to just like stretch and shrink the
also
woven ones.
Yeah.
They were talking about Pad 1, Pad A, and they called it Scrappy. That's why I call it Pad Scrap. It's confirmed. It's what it is. It's Pad Scrap. Okay, we're moving on from that. I love how they kind of mentioned it though. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, it's cheap and it works. That's all they needed.
Yeah, that's basically what they said. It was cheap, quick to build. I don't know if it was quick to build. It really wasn't. It took a while to build that one, but here we are. And then that's a shot from. That was like shortly after they lifted the mount onto the pad. And I think shortly here they walk into the trench coming up, which is a really funny one. Which like it'd be cool to walk down that ramp into the trench. I think at some point around here is like it doesn't make sense to build rockets that blow up that doesn't get you to Mars. And I'm like, wait a minute. Wait, what? You've blown up a lot of rockets. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, this was the cables that they were noticing when they were moving the chopsticks. That's what I was referencing earlier, where it was like, it's a good thing they don't use chopstick arms with China's.
Something got jammed up.
Well, yeah, this was after that static fire where they realized that they broke the sticks. Something got jammed up on one of the skates, and we saw them like jank the skate, the entire sticks over so they can remove one of the skates. That's kind of a cool image where they're in the elevator going up, getting ready to go. And they apparently had a chopstick skate shipped in from the Cape. Oh, they overnighted it from the Cape in order to replace the broken one, so they could get back into operation. And that was the chopstick issues right before Flight 12. There's a really, really funny visual coming up once they get it all installed and everything. Whatnot.
Flew it up, and the morning after that, we were ready to rock.
With these ones, make sure we're going up. Arriba.
It was on the order of like 30 hours, 36 hours from we found the problem to had it fully back in service on like an item that was not really designed to be very serviceable.
Oh, this is the dude who
to be able
double
to
squirts the WD-40.
Temp support it with trains, get in there and boogie is like, that's like just classic SpaceX nonsense.
Oh, man. I remember that shot.
Mm-hmm.
We had a shot, I think, like that with our cameras, too. With the bat signal, the Starship signal.
To the flame trench.
There it is. There's the double WD-40.
WD-40 akimbo.
Yeah, all I can think of is...
We're still going for tomorrow, but it's like a very, very tight schedule.
All I can think of is the King of the Hill thing, where his WD-40 has the issue, so he gets a smaller WD-40 to get the bigger WD-40.
Well, I'll tell you what, boy, that's a great displacement formula right there. Water displacement formula 40. Yeah, they're fluid filming it, dudes. So it doesn't rust.
That was Corrosion X, which is funny. But anyways,
Of course,
is what they were
at least
spraying
they
on
didn't
it.
call it. At least they didn't call it Star Corrosion.
Well, it's a brand name. It's an actual thing. They probably just bought it at Home Depot.
I'm
Honestly,
joking, because it's like SpaceX, and they call everything Star. Didn't we see a Star tube or something in the video?
Yeah, it was on one of the monitors for launch control.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is hilarious. That first stack took a long time. They were taking their sweet time with that first ever stack.
Yeah, much to our dismay. It was great. Oh, these guys are amazing. I love that shirt, first off, the recovery team.
Dude, I noticed something pretty interesting. These recovery buoys, right, that they have an azimuth thruster on it, but the azimuth thruster is just a jerry-rigged fishing trawling motor.
Yeah,
see it right there? That's a trawling motor. These things are just made this out of spare parts.
DJ.
Yeah, right?
It's SpaceX. They'll make what works, you know?
Yeah, it's a trawler motor. I think that's hilarious. That's really funny, actually.
What I find amazing is the one he's pointing out now is the same one from Flight 5 that was used for basically every flight since then. It's amazing the amount of patchwork and stuff. I mean, as we get towards the end of the video, when they show the actual launch, the thing's on fire. And
it's crazy. You wouldn't want it to get torpedoed or anything.
Weird. Yeah. Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing like that. Flying metal or anything.
And gradually from Flight 5, 6, 7, and onwards, these have always been deployed.
Jeez, don't type it in chat again. You'll get timed out. Flight 10's was clean.
That was a wild one. Was Flight 10 the one with the one metallic tile on the heat shield that just corroded?
Those are multiple metallic tiles that oxidized and put rust all over the ship. This is the one that had multiple burn-throughs in the tanks. You can even see where LOX gas is leaking out right there, and still made it.
The fact that it's still going and it's just a big hole in the tank is pretty impressive.
I mean, as long as it's not in the landing tank, doesn't matter that much, I guess.
Yeah, it'd have to be in the headers to have issues. So
I gotta say, when you compare it even to Flight 12, that one with a hole in it still looked smoother on the descent versus the still moving engines and the rotation and all of that.
Yeah, they did that on purpose, though.
Still, I'm just saying it looked cleaner.
The pirouette, the ballerina. Well, there's, I mean, they never said that they didn't do it, but considering they talked about how they put a lot of high definition cams out for Flight 12, as they talk about that either here or they talk about it later on, is they were trying to capture as much of that heat shield with high resolution imagery as possible. So my guess is they spun the ship so that all the cameras could get a view on it as much as possible, so they could view the heat shield in as many angles as they possibly could. That was my guess. That's why they did that.
Sort of like the old maneuver the space shuttle would do around the space station, just a lot slower and actually in orbit.
Well, that was a full 360 flip, entirely end over end.
I know.
There's booster rolling out.
Thank you for bringing up more shuttle.
It'd be cool to be the guy just controlling the booster that's rolling. It's like, I just walk the booster out to the launch site.
Yes, the SPMT controllers are really good dudes. Like you can listen to them talk sometimes, and it's kind of hilarious.
You got to be cool when you're moving around 300 tons of rocket.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, with the payload we got off 39, which is at this rate is 30, which we'll get to shortly here in the video. We kind of have an understanding of what the dry mass of ship is now, give or take. So,
and what is it?
It's like 166 tons, which is a lot. Their goal, I think, was 120 when back in the day. So they got a lot to shave off if they want to, but more powerful engines will help fix it too.
Wait, what is that mass in Topolino's?
300,000.
Man has a built-in like Topolino calculator in his head now.
The mass
He's rapidly
apparently
evolving.
the mass of one is like you said, it's 1,000 pounds. I don't know how that translates to metric, but yeah.
450 kilos and change. I just round up to 500, makes it easier.
And we're talking 166 tons.
Look at the Starlink with that are adapted, and some familiar
this
face
nerd.
is about to show up. Hey, look who it is.
Who's that?
Before we
Who's
send the
that?
satellites over to Mega Bay
Who's
2,
that?
where they're going to be loaded into ship and prepared for flight.
Good
What a
old times.
nerd.
So these
Yo,
two
that
satellites will
sounds
be
like a
just
huge
2
nerd.
of 22 total deployed objects. The other 20 are what we call satellite simulators. They don't have computers on board or anything like that. They're really just hunks of steel that mimic the shape and weight of satellites approximately. It helps us test the PES deploy system. We're also going to be inspecting the more sensitive components of the satellite, the laser optics that send data to other satellites, the thruster on board for on-orbit maneuvering. All of those systems are more sensitive to things like FOD or dust, so we want to give them one last inspection before they go in to make sure they're ready to go to space.
Hey,
This
Bennett,
guy
just
sounds like a
confirm for us
Mets
that You
fan.
are ready for us to lift the next satellite?
We've finished the profile. Everything looks good. I'm going to disable now, so they'll be good to remove rigging.
Copy, standing by.
That dude should do launch commentary and shoot rocket
All
launches.
22 of those
Yeah.
objects are going to mass up to about 37.5 metric tons. That is heavier than any payload Falcon has ever launched. I believe this is the heaviest payload SpaceX will have launched ever, so we want to learn as much as possible about the PES system and how the satellites interact with it. We're on that suborbital trajectory, but it shows the capability that Starship has for future orbital missions coming up.
Hungry Starship, ready?
Can somebody clip that noise from EJ? That was magnificent.
Hey, Starship's got to eat too, man.
Ooh, okay.
Do you have an
We
update
just got some
from-
fun stuff.
Yeah, we got some. Yeah, this is lovely.
I'll wait for Kevin.
Hey, guys, there's a new SpaceX post.
We're aware.
Thanks.
Really?
So chat isn't before chat spams it. We're aware.
My chat's already done that, so I was just joining them.
Oh my goodness, some of these shots, I'm watching them now. Sorry, I'm distracted. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. Imagine that's your office view.
Right?
Casual.
That'd be pretty
Also,
good.
that
That guy
shirt
had a
that says Hoppy.
dude. He had a Hoppy shirt. Yeah, he had a Hoppy
We'll
shirt.
go back.
Yes.
We'll go back to that. I want
was
to make sure we
trying-
pause it on the Hoppy.
Yeah.
But new SpaceX posts. Check that out of the static fire from
God.
today.
That's pretty
I always love the sound of this thing. It's just amazing.
You can tell it's on fire because of the way it is.
There you go.
Oh my god.
That's a minute-long video, by the way.
Yes.
It's like raw power. It's like we're watching Shark Week. Maybe even Cops.
Wow.
That's awesome. It's so good, dude.
That just keeps going.
Dude, that when Ryan and I were covering it, right? Like I started the, my timer, right? I had a timer up and ready to go. I started it and I started watching the ship, but I'm like, it's still going.
Yeah, right?
Wait a minute. Is that
Is
supposed
this still-
to do that? It's still okay, it's still going.
Is this at half speed, by the way, if it's a minute long?
It's probably close to a third speed, so probably 100 frames a second ish, thereabouts, somewhere in there.
Definitely slowed down.
Yeah, definitely slow down. Yeah.
So good, dude. And dude, you know what the crazy thing is? This is, third speed, give or take. The propellant, the flames coming out still look like they're going fast, which is, like I said, man, like this thing makes me uneasy, dude.
Is what I was drooling over.
Just as it gets closer and closer, it's still going. It's still going. It's still going.
Yeah, drone operators probably like, wait, this is longer. This is still going. I
This
gotta
reminds
slow
me
down.
of like a great opera singer like clearing its throat, like, and then just like completely just letting loose.
Oh,
like throat clearing, and then it just sings.
Remember,
Thank you for 3 videos, SpaceX. It looks amazing.
Yes.
Remember, Max. Paganini was the composer. Pavarotti was the singer.
And Topolino was the car.
Topolino is the car.
A1 reference for those who got it.
I know, I had to throw the Topolino in. It sounded too perfect for it.
Pitch is too high. That rocket's a Starship.
Ooh.
Ooh. Oh my god, that is amazing. Whoever their drone operators are, first off, they deserve a raise.
Oh yeah.
All of their work is amazing.
Like we've already talked a ton about it, but it's always cool to see. And one of the coolest things as well, and Kevin's working on it here, is always hearing the engagement of the new igniters.
Oh my god, yeah.
Shing, shoo, shoo. So working on it right now. So yeah, just stay tuned. We're gonna
It kind of reminds me of the old Titan 2 with their cartridges for the LR87s. Like, that's kind of what it reminds me of.
I like Titans.
I do
I
too.
need my dog Titan.
Long live Titan 4. Long live Titan 4.
Oh man,
my favorite rocket of all time.
I've hugged the Titan motor. Have you hugged the Titan motor?
Have you
I've hugged an LR87?
Have you hugged a Titan today?
Have you hugged a Titan missile today? Cat?
EJ actually has.
I'm not kidding. I actually did that. I probably shouldn't have, but I did. You're not gonna hug a rocket motor when you see it?
How dare you?
Yeah.
How
Well,
dare
most of the
you?
time they put up these stupid barriers where you're not supposed to touch.
Yeah, that's fair.
The number of times I've wanted to reach out and just hug Enterprise on the Intrepid, because you can get really close up to the nose of it.
Mm.
And even Endeavor, oh my gosh, I wanted to just hug the SRBs. It was so pretty. Yeah. I have a problem. I'm well aware.
We should. Sorry. You know what we should do?
What?
We should fly the shuttle more.
Yes.
Yeah. Just you and me.
I mean, heck yeah. I mean,
be a pretty good
problem is,
idea.
Who's flying the hack?
What? I'll take care of that.
Because technically, that was when they would let the pilot do a little flying. Is commander would do all the flying except for the heading alignment curve or circle or cone, depending on which one you want to call it. That's when they let the pilot take controls for a little bit, just so they can say they flew it.
All right, dude. I'll let you do that, but I'll still be on the rudder pedals. I'm sure you understand.
Okay, so
I completely understand.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Just a headphone warning to everyone here. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, if you have headphones on, get ready to lower the volume. This is going to be loud.
Again.
Just the shockwaves.
That's nice.
Just look at that environment down there.
It's crazy that it's saturating the steam, so it's all clear. It's pretty cool, man.
I need to hear myself think for a minute.
What?
Very funny.
We think this melted the Sharpie? We'll get to that shortly here.
You can see right here that during that static fire they cranked the booster up to 11, mate. They cranked it up to 11.
Then I cranked it back down again and then shut her off.
No,
I'm trying to
see that one goes to 11,
more.
mate.
I want to know how much of that was full thrust. How long? Because they definitely went through different throttle regimes. I want to know how much of it was at full thrust.
Probably somewhere between 0 and 26 seconds.
You see, that one went to 11, mate.
Oh my god.
That was
I'm now
24.
deaf in my right ear, but it was worth it.
I'm working on sending a video in the back channel of the first clips sped up to real time.
Oh, the minute-long one?
Yep.
So yeah,
I will
That was
never
pretty
get
cool.
tired again, as we heard, of the new igniters going and then the thrust engaging. It's still one of the coolest sounds I've ever heard. Shoo shoo.
Hey, Ryan, how's it go?
Shoo shoo. Something like that.
So
It's like when those
Booster
people ask-
19's the clip that SpaceX posted from Booster 19 and its full duration 33 engine static fire had the noise like dialed in perfectly. Like, oh my god. Now I haven't listened to the one that I'm sending to Kevin right now, but I would assume, I hope that the audio on this one is even better. Because it's 70 seconds real time. I sped it up about to what it should be in real time.
By the way, I
should be coming up.
You know those memes where it's like, what sound does a dinosaur make, or what sound does a firework make, and then people show clips and they put, the person's sound underneath it instead of the real sound. We need to do that with Ryan's chunk. And so, what does it sound like when it starts up? And then instead of the real audio, put his sound effect. Chat.
I'm in. Oh, that's a good idea, dude. That's a lot of power.
Feels like it just goes on forever, but it's only like 24 seconds.
Of course, it's got a lot of power.
Woo!
Again.
Whoa.
Again.
You can watch this all day long. We just watch this all night.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
Like, apologies if we go quiet, everybody, but we're just like in awe. Like, this is
it's
it just
so much
sucks
power
all
behind
your
this
attention.
booster. It's nuts.
As we then don't go quiet over it.
Yeah, they definitely throttled down towards the engine shut off there. The flames.
You can see the flames go down when they throttle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wonder why they did it for this. I mean, I love that they did it for this long, but I wonder why they decided to go for 24 seconds rather than only 10 or 12.
Or were they going for 30 and cut it short?
I wanted to go to 24 because this one goes to 11, mate. I told you that already.
You know what would be even more funny than 24 though?
25.
No, I think firing it for longer would prove to be a more thorough
test.
Yeah, chopsticks are moving.
Also, the one thing I didn't have in here, I forgot to actually put in. I don't know if you guys have heard it. I'd have to go find the clip on it. But when they did chopstick testing a couple of days ago, you could hear the electric actuators move. It sounded so cool. I'd have to go find the clip again. I forgot to put that in. I was so caught up with the video and the
Ryan was locked in
and the static fire.
Nothing else happened,
No, nothing else happened. But yeah, you can hear the actuator engage and disengage on the new electric actuators. It sounds really, really cool.
What sound does it make, Ryan?
I don't remember the exact sound it makes off the top of my head. I'm not going to keep doing that.
Why not?
But I will say, if they are doing if they're doing all this stick testing, I guess we'll talk about it since we're talking about Booster 20.
I guess they're going to catch the booster. Oh, really?
They've done a lot of They've done a lot of catch deluge testing. They've done a lot of chopstick testing. They even a little bit ago, before we even started, they did some landing rail testing, which is something new.
The tower even shakes as well when it moves like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's not new.
Can we turn the volume up on this, Kevin? I'm sorry. Okay.
Working on getting the audio per Kevin in the channel you can't hear.
But I guess it
Still.
poses the question, and I guess it'll depend on what SpaceX finds in their flight readiness review and their launch readiness reviews. Do they make the decision before they go, or do they say, okay, if everything with the booster is perfect, not a single problem, let's say, you know what? YOLO. Because if they do, and I was thinking about this before the TFD, if they do, so say they catch booster 20. Okay, let's say they do it. They then have booster 20, which is then reused. They then have booster 21, which is like 2 weeks away from cryo, and they're starting to build booster 22. So what you do is then you keep booster 20 and 21 at Starbase for your fleet of 2 boosters to start. Then booster 22 and booster 23 both go to the Cape alongside a pair of ships. So you got 2 boosters for Starbase and the Cape, and then you kind of start alternating.
Oh, dude, there it is.
God.
There's the sound.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Like tickles all the right parts of the brain.
But I know what EJ's answer is going to be. I already know what it is.
I was going to say, am I making a believer out of you?
I'll ask Sawyer and Max, so whoever wants to go
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
You can go after EJ, but I already know what your answer is going to be.
Fine.
What was the question?
Does SpaceX roll the dice? If everything's perfect after boost back, do they roll the dice and do they catch 20, then have a booster in their back pocket so that they can have booster 20 and 21 at Starbase, and then they can build 2 boosters in a row and send 2 boosters in a row to the Cape? It completely changes the complexion of the program if they catch 20 of where they're at.
I mean, the fact that we're seeing this much chopstick testing
that sounds so cool,
may signal that it's not completely off the table. If if literally everything is perfect on the vehicle, because Booster 19 didn't get very far last time after stage separation, because remember, version 3 boosters, they are trying to implement a 33 engine boost back burn compared to 13 from before, which is a lot of stress on a vehicle and its internal components, especially when you're trying to thrust the other direction. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to modify that closer to a 13, or just a very brief a brief period of time where it's all 33. But maybe Ryan, again, like if every single thing is perfect on the vehicle and it is demonstrating a perfect boost back trajectory, and they have the room, they may allow the onboard computers to make that decision for them. Because the rewards here would be massive if they do catch it, as you've already said. I mean, I'm speaking like a broken record right now. But if they get it wrong, yikes.
Well, here's the thing. That's a test that was
whose thing first?
A little bit ago. Flex.
It's not enough damper.
Yeah, you don't get the same damper with electric versus hydraulic in that case currently.
They really got to get that thing to stop in position and stay there. Whatever.
The biggest thing is if for some reason there's a failure in the landing burn, then you're likely aborting to the south. So you're aborting probably a little bit more south than where your expansion area is. So you get a booster that slams into the wetlands, and then your road and beach are closed for days on end because you have to clean all that up. And then there's also a mishap investigation into why your booster failed to be caught. There's a lot of risk. A mishap investigation plus a bunch of cleanup and other issues alongside that. But if you catch it, then you have a booster. So is it worth it?
Here's the thing, though.
Okay, go ahead.
Remember what happened with Flight 12? the boost back burn that didn't properly boost back and kind of ended up leading to the loss of the booster.
Yeah.
If it had gone well on the last flight, then catch is a no-brainer. The fact that, maybe if it had gotten down to the landing burn and had issues, fine. The fact that it struggled and had the issues on the boost back, you really think they're going to try for a catch if they haven't made it past that point? I feel like if you could make it past boost back, and again, if it happens somewhat closer to the splashdown landing attempt, then yeah, go for it. But right now, make sure you protect the pad, prove that the pad and everything works, prove that your new boost back design works, and then next flight you go for the catch. Absolutely.
That's
the
safe way to do it.
I'd be inclined to be more in favor of that, and that's where my mind wants to naturally go. But after seeing testing today, like before today, my mind was like, okay, they're going for a cryo test, a spin prime, or an igniter test today first, and then probably static fire tomorrow. But they went right for a freaking static fire test, full duration, 24 seconds today, and we've seen a closure for them to roll the booster back already tonight. Like that's like a day and a half at the pad before having it roll back. That is efficiency, and them demonstrating a rapid timeline cadence for testing in like serious testing operations in which there is the possibility of something going catastrophically wrong with the vehicle during the static fire. They may be bold enough to try it if all goes perfectly on this flight.
But they have precedent of being able to successfully static fire at that pad. They don't have precedent of successfully making it all the way back through booster reentry.
And that's what I was saying. Like maybe they will leave that to the onboard systems to make that decision for them. Like if there's an engine out during boost back, if the boost back shuts down early, obviously throw it into the Gulf and try again next time. But if all goes perfect and they have the ability to abort it right into the flats and minimize damage to pad 2 afterwards, maybe. I'm like 80-20, it's going in the Gulf right now. I was closer to like 95-5, to be honest with you, before today. But after seeing them go right for a full static fire test, I'm like, if all's perfect, they might try to catch this thing.
But isn't it true still that when they go for the catch, not only does the onboard computer have to agree, but the launch director, the flight director, has to physically turn a switch to allow for it?
I mean, I don't know if the systems for version 3 boosters are exactly the same as version 1 and version 2. I'd imagine there obviously is a scenario where LD steps in and goes, nope, you're not coming home, or yes, come home.
There's probably a manual abort this early in the program that they can do. I would not be surprised if there's a manual abort in there. But I mean, it's an interesting thing. We'll see what happens. Maybe SpaceX will say something in their Flight 13 info dump, which I would expect at least by next week, probably Monday or Tuesday or something along those lines. It depends on when booster comes back out to the launch site, because the guess is that it's going back tonight. After they do this chopstick testing, they'll probably take it off the launch mount and roll it back sometime in the morning. And then, we'll have to wait and hear tomorrow. And it looks like I couldn't tell if the landing rails were up, but either way, they look up.
Yep.
But anyways, it's interesting to see what happens. But as for other stuff that's going on, for the past flight, if we want to go back to the video there, I know there was, and I think we were getting close to when they were walking into the trench. There was a really funny moment when they were talking about indicators in the trench. Yeah, the landing rails are up. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
Interesting.
They might try to go for it.
I think they will.
I mean, you don't do this much testing with your chopsticks in a landing-like scenario with them moving so fast if there wasn't a minute possibility that they might try for it.
I mean, okay, I'm on Team Catch for the next flight, but okay, let's be realistic for a second. They're most likely going to do a chopstick sim test while they do a booster soft landing in the ocean. That would be the safe bet, right? I just want to see a Block 3 booster get caught. I can't. My heart can't
On
deal
the
with these things
Griffins?
crashing. Yeah, my heart can't
Yeah.
deal with these things crashing into the ocean and sending 33 engines to Davy Jones's locker.
Dude, we haven't seen a catch since March of last year.
I know.
We're due.
It's
It's been a
unacceptable.
long time.
Yeah, because that was booster 15, and they didn't catch anything after that.
Yep. That was Flight 8. So a long time ago.
Geez, after my answer, now I feel like the Ryan Webber of the group.
Thank you, Ship 35. Thank you, Ship 33, 34, 35, and 36 for ruining it all for everybody. Without those ships failing the way they are, we probably see more booster catches and more flights, if I'm going to be honest.
We're here. It's Hampton Dirt. We've come a long way since I started here as an intern a couple years ago.
I mean, it's the biggest thing ever launched, so there's nothing that can match it.
I expect it to be loud and fast. It's definitely going to rock the city of Starbase.
Not wrong.
Yes, it will.
I love all the tanker trucks still going behind them.
Still irks me the way they stack you with one flap pulled in. I know they have to do that for clearance reasons with the launch mount, but it still bugs me.
I don't think they have to. I think they're doing it. They did it for that flight because I don't know if they were 100% sure that the notch would still work.
Yeah, I was thinking,
Okay.
like, why the tower team has these big crises always, like, right before we have, like, a big operation. I think it has to just do with the scale of everything. Like, we have these big, complicated mechanisms that, like, need to work right every time we use them. And just replacing a roller turned into this several-day ordeal with flying from the K3 cranes to get it in and out. Where, like, if this was a broken bearing on some little dinky electrical motor, it would have been much easier to make that swap in an hour instead of 24.
I feel like it also set us up for success in terms of like the getting mentally ready to act on immediate. So super exciting time tomorrow. Hopefully we see the fruits of our labor sort of culminate in a great successful flight.
Just seeing them on the arm.
As it does the retraction.
Dude, that's cool, man. Look at that thing.
Massive.
Made on Earth by humans.
Don't look down. Don't look down right now.
That's pretty far down.
I'd look down. I'd look down, to be honest with you.
I'd go, oh boy.
See what I mean?
I'd look down and go, damn. And
Don't look down.
We were talking with Taylor Hose about him looking down when they were cleaning up the white room.
Yeah.
That's what that made me think of.
Yeah, right? I mean, so I wouldn't be peeking out, but like maybe after checkout's done, I'd look at the crew access arm and be like, okay. All right.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go back.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, okay. That's enough of that.
Knowing that it's in a safer area, yeah. Although you're bungee corded if you were to go over by the white room.
Here's where they're talking about the aborts for the first attempt.
XYs are not going to close down damped, but I believe that's okay.
Okay, we have just enough time on the vehicle to attempt one more time, so I recommend we clear the hold, let it try to unlatch it at the 100 bar we're at.
We're still stuck in damping though.
Understood, we'd be reattempting with the same hydraulic pressure. Cool, this will be our last attempt, and then we're done on the rockets.
Unexpected drop in Z-cylinder blind pressure when we unpinned. That was different from the first few tries? That's correct, different problem. Copy. Yeah, this might be due to QD arm dynamics when we unpin, so I don't think trying again is going to solve the problem, to be honest.
We're done for flight for the day. Flight. Thank you.
You could see the disappointment.
Oh yeah, you could see that right there.
They were this close.
worst
man.
feeling
This
ever.
close.
I could feel that.
All the sighs. I remember that so vividly too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was almost like it was just a few months ago.
You're talking about SDS 135, right?
Got him!
Right?
You son of a gun.
You son of a gun.
And here's where they're about to show the pin, at which they were talking about.
Hey man, just
there it
real
is right
quick.
there. That's the hydraulic pin.
Oh, yeah.
right there where they unlatch the arm from the tower. So it's how they can keep it. And they talk about how they had some dynamic loads on the on the arm, and they couldn't, when they went to try to unpin it, it just wouldn't get fully unpinned. So they put a bumper in to help make sure the arm wouldn't have so much dynamic moving, and so that when they went to unpin it, it would unpin just fine, and then it would swing out, and it worked. All they did was add a bumper in. That's all they did over the course of that night.
They don't want to
funny,
get,
by the way.
they don't want to get deflection on the fuel line or the umbilicals when they go to
Always
undo
be
the
paranoid. Going into this flight attempt, we were worried about a completely different thing, which was the hold for the actual vents on the fill drain. And then those passed, and then we got bit by something completely different. So you gotta be paranoid about everything.
By the way, in case you're wondering about the audio, we did have to remove the music just for copyright reasons, so some of the sounds went with it. So if it sounds weird, by the way, I should point out that's why.
Yeah, I went over it on my end, Sawyer. It flagged it. Hexacorp.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It flagged the sound effect.
Of course,
So yeah, that's why you don't hear anything else.
Yeah, that's why the sound is coming through all weird, guys.
This is when it all happens. 1 o'clock in the morning.
This is the most important mission we've done out here. We're putting in the most buoys and the most
Trawler
drones.
motor.
So if we don't have this data, the people back home have no idea how the heat shield really performed.
Sren, you want to give it a final kiss goodbye for good luck?
Splash.
And splash.
Splash.
That was a wet kiss. I had it.
Beautiful.
No, again.
I love you hear when I guys go,
Bye-bye,
uh-oh,
buoy.
at first.
Let's I'll take it.
It's amazing that all those amazing views of splashdown is just from those couple buoys.
And Starlink.
Well, yeah, that too.
Flight 12,
Other
attempt
place
to weather briefing.
on Earth.
Starship range is currently green.
Tower Kenny, are you up on countdown 1? Can you give a brief on what we did last night for the QD arm situation?
So the cause of yesterday's abort was that the ship QD arm had dynamics when we tried to unpin it due to the preload that the ship QD mech was pushing into the vehicle with. The mitigations that we have in place today are that we have welded a hard stop bumper to the ship QD arm to limit the amount of displacement that can occur when the unpinner unpins.
Attention all flight crew members on countdown 1 is the final go-no-go poll for today's operations. RC?
Go.
Ground stations?
Go.
Flight software 1?
Go.
Raptor 1?
Go.
Raptor 2?
Go.
Stage 1?
Go.
Flight directors go as well. T-minus
I
1
wish we
minute.
could listen to the polls again. I always like polls.
It's nice that they do the verbal ones too for Starship.
Hearing comms net is
Holding
like
at
one of the
40
best
seconds.
things. Satisfying.
SpaceXers really are at their best in ASAP mode. We do a good job of not being afraid of putting ourselves in a really tight spot.
Fill drains are go.
Copy. SC1 reset the operator hold.
Reset. Buck is rolling.
People hate pain. And that ability to absorb pain for change here at Starbase is like unparalleled. And if you just are willing to take a little bit of it, you can do the most amazing things.
Flight directors go for
Pain
launch.
is weakness leaving the body.
T-minus 10. 9. 8. 7.
By the way, don't expect launch audio
6.
just because of the way that the stuff is cut out.
5. 4. 3.
2, 1.
Ignition.
Oh, that view.
Oh, with the swing arm moving away is great.
I still can't get over how quickly it moves from engine ignition. It's like ignition, movement.
It's so much more powerful. They're able to
Yeah,
hold it
lift off.
down till they're ramped up. And it's much more powerful than Block 2.
Oh, and that
The
pad
engine is
avoid
also
everywhere.
like much faster.
Dude, that is violent. I can't get over it, man. It's just chaos. I mean, look at dude. They're freaking. It moved their pants. The clothes are vibrating. You see it? Like it's just like.
It's rare, but it does happen.
Back to you.
Hey, that's your X handle. I love how they basically don't talk about the issues that happened.
Yeah, they don't.
That shockwave.
Yeah, the shockwave from reentry is nuts. I think they'll talk about it either during the telecast for Flight 13 or mention it in
booster did not make it to the final landing location.
That's about all they say on
power
it.
and telemetry nominal.
Yeah.
Also, about that sixth engine.
On 5 out of 6 ship Raptor engines.
That's it.
So, I think that's a leak that caused the chamber pressure drop, and that's why it died. I think they kind of hinted at what went wrong there.
But they just ignore it. It's just like, yeah, 5 of 6 are good, and that's it.
Dude,
Yes.
look at that. That's so amazing.
Their reaction as well here in a few seconds.
We have a video of a satellite looking at our ship.
Their reaction is what's priceless about it. It's like, yep, yeah, they built that.
It's pretty neat.
Pretty neat, yeah.
That's pretty neat.
I just think that's pretty neat.
Starship is turning for final approach to landing site.
And coming up here, we will see the first U.S. flagged vessel be torpedoed in a long time.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, jeez.
I've never thought of it that way, but that's actually kind of funny.
Or had a torpedo shot at it.
It was a space to water torpedo. Very, very, very advanced tech.
Yeah.
ICBM torpedo. Breakthrough
Well,
technology.
no, not that. It wasn't that.
Well, hopefully it doesn't break through.
That's killer.
Some of the thermal imagery we've gotten is just absurd.
That view, the wide shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then it does its little pirouette for the cameras.
Starship has landed.
Boom.
Oh, look at that.
Wait for it.
Torpedo
Wait
away.
for the COPV torpedo.
That's in the next shot. Ready? Watch on the left side of the screen, chat. That's awesome.
Also, I wait for the shot where you can still see the aft end that survived. That is one of my favorite shots.
All
so
smiles all around. They shot a torpedo at one of their...
This might be our crowning achievement. After this, the robots will have to take over. Exactly.
Don't say that. They'll hear it.
Anytime we have these kind of big evolutionary leaps in the program, whether it was the very first Flight 1, whether it was first catch on Flight 5, obviously new major block change with the pad and the ship and the booster all at the same time for V3, there's somewhat of an expectation of like, what might we have missed? But at some point, you just got to say, hey, the most learnings are to go fly.
It's true. Yeah, look
Dude.
at this.
Dude, that engine section looks okay. I mean, it's a little warped, but that's from hitting the water. Like, other than that, it's not bad.
By the way, we're going to have to go back to the Sharpie part once we finish this.
Yes. Yes.
Which, Kevin, that was at about 4.5 minutes in. Right around 4:45.
Yeah, about 4:45 or so.
Yeah, I was just pulling up my timeline that I have from the video with the audio pulled out. It is one of the wildest things, their method here.
A flame diverter is like a super simple concept that is like not at all complicated in operation and is just absolutely murderous in the details. These are extremely sophisticated thermal load sensing devices. If they turn into melted metal slag, then you know that you got too much heat. If you melt this, you're hotter than aluminum melts. If you melt this, you're hotter than zinc melts. If you melt this, you're hotter than copper melts. If you melt this, you're hotter than Sharpie melts. So we're sub Sharpie.
We're sub Sharpie. That's a quote.
It's a priceless line. It's great. I mean, heck, it's a good way to tell it without using actual temperature sensors. You know the melting points of those metals, so
yeah.
And
Oh,
you
this
don't
shot.
want that, and that's near the exit of the trench too. You
Look
don't
at
want
this.
it to be that hot in the exit of the trench. The drone shot here of the top deck coming up.
Oh yeah.
All this whole
impressive.
sequence.
Dude.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome. That's pretty
Engineering's just amazing, isn't
That's
it?
pretty neat.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Wow.
I just think
Yeah,
that's
now I'm
pretty
thirsty.
neat.
Max, weren't you standing out there during one of the deluge tests?
I wasn't in, so it was,
Gage was.
I was next to, so Gage and Zeke were to my left. I was on the sidewalk. I ran over to my camera to start the slow-mo. And then I saw it happen. I was like walking towards it. I pull up my phone and it's just like, yeah. And then also so we went to pick up Dan and Josh from the airport as well. And we heard one might happen because the pad was clearing, and we drove right to the launch site from the airport. And we saw it happen.
Nice.
It's a heck of a thing to see in person. I promise you.
You weren't kidding, right, about that drone shot with the top down on it.
They did. There's a drone shot of the top deck actually firing too. That's really, really cool. Should be coming up shortly here.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
This, yeah.
That's like the flame, like the top deck does not look porous until you see water just like squirting out of it.
It's such a cool design, and I'm glad they went with that design. It looks amazing, and with the static fires we've seen and the launch we've seen, it's working perfect. There are some areas where they'll add more water in certain areas where we've seen burn marks appear, but that's a product of learning how the rocket works with a new system. So, yeah, it's pretty amazing. I think the only other thing we got to cover is the tweet related to the picture that's behind DJ.
Oh.
Yeah, EJ,
Hey,
how'd you
EJ,
get
where
up
are you?
there?
Yeah.
How'd you get up there?
I called somebody.
Wait a minute. Hang on. So, EJ, is the chair you're sitting in the same one that was up in the VAB, or is this a different chair now that we have to watch in the Gigabay?
No, it's a different chair.
It didn't migrate the chair, so now we have Giga Chair.
Giga chair. Oh no!
Oh, EJ's gone.
EJ. Okay, well, nice knowing you, soldier.
Yeah.
F's in chat to pay respects.
F's in chat to EJ.
Well, now his name card needs to say formerly EJ.
As formerly known as EJ.
Artist formerly known as EJ, yeah.
Anyways.
So there's the actual post. Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah,
EJ,
so,
you can come back to life.
Kiko, which I did not expect to post like this, and I am incredibly glad. It looks like EJ is actually alive.
I caught myself. We're good.
I am incredibly glad we got this post. We were wondering when we would be able to see this thing. This is a 420-ton bridge crane installed in. This is the east side transfer aisle. You can tell by it because it's the one that's a little more completed. And based off of the wording, it sounds like they're only gonna have one per transfer aisle. At least that's the kind of way I gather it. But that is nuts. Basically, for reference, the ones inside Mega Bay 1 and 2, those are 180-ton bridge cranes. The one inside the vehicle assembly building, or the pair of them that are up high that go between the different high bays. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 because they're opposite of one another. Those are 350-ton bridge cranes. This is 420, and of course they chose 420 because why wouldn't you? That's probably why it's 420. Going to be entire. In their post when they talked about the Gigabay, they said 400-ton, and then they made it 420. I wonder why. But anyways, either way, that spool is gigantic. That bridge crane is gigantic. It's hard to convey the scale of that size of that thing. But I am glad to see the Gigabay coming along nicely. Eventually, Starbase will get these as well. And I can't wait till we get vehicles inside that. And I can't wait till we get vehicles in there and we get shots of vehicles in there. Please, please, please show us shots of vehicles in there. You know, like I can't wait till that happens.
And it seems like, by the way, from that they're going to be doing the breakover inside the Gigabay rather than over at the port. So roll it over to the Gigabay over at Roberts Road and then do the breakover there, right?
That's going to be one heck of a traffic line behind one of these things.
I would have
at KSC, because there already is behind whenever they roll a new Glenn booster or roll a Falcon 9 booster, as often as they do a super heavy booster coming down Courtney Parkway. Oh my God! Like you're.
That's
going to roll off Marmac 31, or you'll thank me later, or eventually just read the instructions. And then it's going to roll out of the turning base in the way the core stage takes, go on to, what is it, Saturn Parkway?
I hope it's the turn basin.
What?
I hope it's the turn basin, not
It should
not
be the
Port
turn
Canaveral.
basin. My guess is going to be the turn basin at this rate. I don't see anywhere else. That would be a long trek from the port to do horizontal.
Yeah, pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've been doing some road reinforcements there, but I don't think enough for that.
So there's those parts are the bridge crane that goes the parts of the bridge crane that go across. That just goes to show scale. That's big. There's a cab by that just goes to show how big that is. But my guess is those boosters will roll horizontally, then roll down. I always forget the name of the road, the 3-lane road they've got. And then they'll run down that to Roberts Road, go into the Gigabay, and then they'll break it back over vertical.
Yeah, it's Courtney Parkway.
Yeah. And that'll be amazing to see the first booster, which could be booster 22 and ship 42. We don't really know. If everything plans out, it could be those two vehicles that will arrive over at the Cape. That'll be a sight to see, to say the least.
If we get ship 42 as the first ship for Florida, that would be just poetic.
Yeah,
I mean, that is
the
the
ultimate answer, universe life and everything.
Yep.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And we're missing another section on the tower there. Fun.
That's so strange.
Oh, yeah, they just removed another segment from the tower over there at LC-36, which if you were watching the flyover, and if you weren't, you should go watch it between this and Twist. Talk about the work that they're doing to remove that and replace it with an upgraded pad with similar infrastructure, but everything done basically with cranes and attachments to that. So
Hey, fellas, I wasn't on Flame Trench last week. Isn't that the tower that Dave Limp, like 2 weeks ago, said they don't need to disassemble?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, so they're disassembling it, and they're going to supposedly refurb it. And then, you weren't on Flame Trench last week, but we had some fun talking about the weird design that Blue wants to do for their construction. And
Space Shuttle RSS or rotating service structure, hello?
No, it looks fixed. But we don't. But yeah, that would take a while to go back into. As much as it would be awesome to talk to you guys about that one. We've already been here for a while. So,
well, let me also hit a question here that we got from Felix with the super chat saying, how much louder or not is this booster than Shuttle? Or I'm guessing they said or NSF. I think they mean SLS. Got a feeling the folks at Merritt Island are in for a surprise.
Everyone everywhere near these boosters are in for a surprise.
Let's just say that this is going to set off some
Falcon
car
9
alarms.
from a very close distance before, and that already rocks your socks. And Falcon Heavy from 3 miles away also kind of rocks your socks. We've also seen Starship from 3 and a bit miles away, and it like shakes everything, like everything. So people in Florida are not ready for it. Like there's going to be some windows that probably get damaged. People are a lot of surprised people are going to be. There are going to be. Yes.
I'm intrigued to see it because I think I'm EJ and I are the only ones here that have Shuttle comparison. So I got to ask EJ, you've seen Shuttle and Starship, even if not V3. What do you say?
What I was saying before is I think that Starship's going to set off some car alarms.
You think?
Falcon already does that.
It's gonna do some damage, like putting an M80 in a toilet. You know what I'm saying?
I have questions, but okay, we'll leave those.
Like, are you speaking from experience there, EJ?
Yeah.
No.
No, why would you say that? Of course not.
Why would you say that?
I don't know. But yeah, I'm excited to do the comparison from Shuttle to SLS to this. And again, yeah, you're also talking SRBs and solid fuel versus the
Never done that.
Ethalox.
Ever.
Never. No, never.
It's never happened.
No.
I've never done anything that would be considered unsafe. That's never happened.
No, never.
Never.
OSHA would
we've never
approve.
streamed any of it. Anyway.
You know, it's fun putting firecrackers in a car's exhaust and then doing a burnout. I wouldn't know nothing
Speaking
about
of
that.
burnout, I think we're all getting burnt out here. It's almost 8 o'clock Eastern.
Never mind.
Yeah. So I think it's time we start wrapping things up here. And I want to make sure we thank all of the people that were here with us on stream today. I guess we go down the line. EJ, thank you for joining from Twitch.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, no. Remember to obey all traffic laws. No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's fun being on here. We always have a good time. I know it's a privilege to be here, so I try to bring my A game. Chat, thank you very much. If you want to see more of my obnoxious mug, I do stream over on Twitch. I'm there 5 days a week, usually right before Flame Trench. We're talking about space, playing all kinds of cool space games and whatnot. It's a good time. So yeah, I'm over there if you want to talk more about this.
Absolutely. And Max, thank you as well for joining.
Pleasure as always, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to hang out with us. And we have got potentially a very a very intense week coming up here from our team, and also just from Spaceflight in general, from a certain location in South Texas. But take it as it comes, and we are always very excited to go. So fingers crossed everything goes well next week.
Thank you as well for joining us, Ryan Weber, my big voice.
Ryan, thank you.
What was that?
It's a pleasure as always. Two streams today. Static Fire plus TFT. It's been a lot of fun. Get to talk about Starship and space all the time. It's always a privilege, and it's fun to do this always.
The only one bigger than me on screen is the one off screen, God himself, Kevin Michael Reed, producing today. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I have been your host. Thank you all for joining us. Stay tuned to the channel here for This Week in Spaceflight coming up a little bit later. And a huge thank you as well to the even bigger names on screen, that is our launch directors and flight engineers. We appreciate all of our members, and these tiers in particular get their names at the end of the Flame Trench, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you. I'm Sawyer Rosenstein. I've been your host for this episode of the Flame Trench. Have a great weekend, everybody. We will see you all as we get closer to Starship.
And here we go. There's the deluge. Here's ignition.
Doubling up.
Did it just do a Kerbal? Back to the moon and beyond.
Put that in the big bag, you know.
Back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, that sure looks like a perfect flow.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
We did have an observation.
Equalize.
343 unfolds to go.
It's orange.
Water towers can fly! Bingo! Right in the center. Where's Jacqueline? There it is! That was surreal.
That's not what we want to see.
No!
Oh my God.
Yikes, you bet. We don't need any more of these.